back on side. The city of Buffalo would have caught fire if they found out. Half the people think the refs are in the bag for the Chiefs anyway. Mahomes looked like an actual toolbox the way he reacted after the game. A tool.
By the way, it's unbelievable watching how clearly it was a forward pass in the Music City Miracle.
No, they did the science.
I know.
It's not.
No, but it is.
It's not.
Done.
It looks like it, but it's not.
Hold on, real quick. I just want to say this. So I'm watching it right now, all right? Wycheck gets the ball. He chucks it. His foot is on the 25, and his arm is slightly behind the 25. So foot's on the 25, arm is just behind the 25. When the ball is caught, the ball lands on the 25. I mean, it's inches. It's inches. It's close enough. But when you watch it in fast play, it really looks forward when you watch it the first time.
It's one of those plays that you know where you were when you saw it.
I mean, I know where I was. I was in Boston visiting my cousins. Unbelievable moment.
It was pretty incredible.
And yeah, so all they're saying is that Frank Wycheck fell in his home. 52 years old. Jesus. That's so scary, man. Just doing something and
you know how many times, and Nancy gets mad at me, that I'm like hanging over, like putting up Christmas lights, and it was like, what are you doing? You're 55 years old. Like I got a ladder in my garage that I think is from the 50s. You know, I'm on the last step, hanging something up on a tree, and she'll come screw. What are you doing? And so that's all I kept thinking about is that totally could be me, totally.
Well, not to mention it can be like, you know, just a slip, a literal slip, and the way your head, or you're half asleep.
I was sick yesterday when I saw it. But
that's so back to the point you just made. I'm sorry to derail you. Back to the point you just made. You said it well during the meeting. It was like a heel turn moment for the Chiefs. I couldn't. Here's what I was thinking about Mahomes. When Mahomes was screaming the way he was, and we don't know what he was saying, and I would just like to be the first to submit. I've been sensing some nozzle in Mahomes this whole year. Like he's been starting to cruise towards nozzle just a bit. Yeah, I have a drop in which I express those feelings. Here you go. You remember this?
He's not cool. His voice is weird. He's kind of a dork. His brother's a tool. His girlfriend's annoying.
His wife. You get the idea. Anyways, but that was a goof.
You were in the flow.
But he's been going that way a little bit. But yesterday, here's what I kept thinking. Was he going off on the refs because he was scared to go off at Kadarius Toney? Because I don't know
Why would
how
you be scared. It's not like it's
I don't know
anybody with any like,
because they're showing Toney repeatedly, and it looked like he wanted to bury a hole in Arrowhead and bury himself because Toney knew it was him. He absolutely knew. You could tell the sheepish look on his face. He knew he cost them the game. I don't know how Mahomes would go off on a curse-laden rant at anyone except Toney. Like, he was a foot off.
And I had no idea when I was watching him screaming that it was even because of that. I'm just like, stop it, man. You played a great game. You weren't good enough. You've had issues all year. What are you doing? Why are you acting like that, man? You act like a spoiled brat. Like, and Romo's trying to pick him up. Like, oh, that just shows the competitiveness of Mahomes. No, I think it was too much. It was too much. You either get in the face of the player you're upset with if you want to be a leader. You just came across as like a complaining tool that has gotten all the breaks and now you're not getting them. And then you find out he was a foot offside. Like the official's supposed to tell you to get back on side. And even if he's supposed to, it's a penalty. And do you really think they didn't know there was a penalty? Do you think Kelsey throws that ball if he knows that it counts?
He was hoping it was a free play, you're saying.
He had to see it. The whole world saw. The flag flew the second the ball was snapped. If you watch it back, look at the corner of your screen where the score is. The yellow flag goes up the second the play starts. It was immediate.
So I just don't understand. And you're right, for a team that has benefited from shady calls before. It was like, and by the way, you're still good. The only thing that you've had a really unimpressive season. They don't look to be the same offensive juggernaut that they've been in.
No, they're better defensive team than their offensive
who's kept them alive, right? And now the worst thing that people are saying about the outcome for this Chiefs season is they might have to play a road playoff game. Oh, a road playoff playoff game for the Chiefs. Are you going to prove to be a team that can really be the real deal and go on the road and go on a run anyway? I mean, it was such an embarrassing. And also, Mahomes, Patrick, come back to me, dude. You're in every commercial. You guys are the most commercially loved team in the league right now. You're the Golden State Warriors of football. You can't be screaming. You see Steph Curry cursing like a maniac like that? What are you doing?
So poor form. It really was. You know, the Bills played well. They saved their season. Good for them. And you're still in great shape if you're Kansas City.
Oh, yeah.
You've got no threat in that division. All right, you're not going to be a one seed. You might have to play wild card weekend. You might have to play on the road. Oh, my God.
Right. This is what teams do.
So get up. If you're the man, you're Patrick Mahomes, man. Shake it off. Go out there and play. Don't act like a big baby you didn't catch a break, because that would have been a break if the officials picked up that flag or told him to get back on side.
But you didn't get the break.
Didn't get it. And you know what? You weren't moving the ball, and that would have been a great play. I don't think they're scoring a touchdown. They might have to settle for the field goal. You go to overtime, but
and you know what else?
But didn't you get that set? And it's going against me. I even text you. I text the thread. Nobody responded until Peter, because he's a mensch.
I feel bad later on. Like that.
But I was in the moment, and I'm in the middle of the Jet pregame too. By the way, the Ranger pregame, and I'm like, here comes the 4th and 15, and I didn't finish my thought because I was busy. What I was going to say is, here comes the 4th and 15 KC conversion. What I was going to add to it was, here comes the defensive hold. Here comes the roughing the passer. Something's going to happen to keep this alive. And it didn't happen. It went the other way, and they acted like big babies when it didn't happen. You didn't mathematically eliminated. Oh, it might be a little harder to go to the Super Bowl. Wow. I was really and I like Kansas City. That's why I said they turned full heel on me. That came out of nowhere to me. I'm just really disgusted by it. But at the same time, even though I text you that at the 4th and 15, I didn't feel real good about Kansas City winning that football game when they got the ball back, or even getting into field goal range, because it's just not the same team. It's not.
No, and that's why I guess, and again, I don't know Patrick Mahomes. I'm sure he's a lovely person. Okay?
You get the sense he's a good guy.
I'm sure he's a lovely guy. I will just say, though, aren't the people you need to be screaming at this year your wide receiving core, who do you no favors ever?
None.
All they do is drop the ball. Mm-hmm. All they do is make mistakes. So to see you then screaming at the refs where you have to get held back, let me see you scream at Tony or Valdez Scantling or someone. I mean, the refs are not the enemy of the Kansas City Chiefs. It's your own wide receivers.
You don't think Philadelphia could have reacted the way in the Super Bowl? And that was at least a judgment call, right? I mean, it ended up being the right call when you look at it. He was a foot offside.
Well, here's Mahomes after the game.
Let us play, man. Let us play the game. And then whatever happens, happens. The whole throwing the flag and deciding the game one or another, that's what hurts me. That's why, last week I didn't say anything, because it's letting us play, man. Let's go out there and win the game. And I said I'd rather them let us play and go out there and see who wins. I mean, that's what you want as a competitor, is you practice all week, you go out there and try to win. And you want it to be about your team and that team and see what happens. You don't want to be talking about this stuff after the game.
The key clip I take from that is, let us go out there and win the game. I'm sorry, Patrick. You got to do that within the rules of the game. I mean, I love RG3, but Robert kept posting, was this really offsides? Football fans, you're in a safe space. Tell me, was it really offside?
Come on,
yeah, Robert, yes. It was 1,000% offside. And stop comparing it to Terry McLaurin, who looked at the ref from 5 feet away and goes, "Ref, am I good?" The ref sort of ignores him. They snap the ball and then throws the flag in his face. Don, that to me seems like the official making it about themselves. If the player's asking you, you don't tell them, then you throw the flag, now you've got reason to beef. That's not what happened here.
And then Cass on Twitter says, so y'all telling me the one game where Patrick vents frustration after last week's missed call, Patrick's wide receivers are worse than the Giants' wide receivers last year.
Giants?
Let him vent one game. But you're looking like a tool. You want to vent, all right, never mind what happened on the field yelling and screaming. You tell Josh Allen after you congratulate him on the victory that it was an awful call. No, it wasn't. He was a foot offside. Then you go out after the game and talk. We just played the cut. Let them play. What, there should be no rules? There's already no rules for the offense, Patrick. You get to do whatever you want. That's why 1,000 points are being scored every day. That's why you're one of the best quarterbacks in the history of football, because they let the offense play. But the one thing you can't do is be a foot offside. Give me a break. Grow up. And you're still alive. You're still going to win the division and watch them still be in the damn Super Bowl. Give me a break already. You just acted like a jerk. He acted like a jerk. I'm sorry.
And by the way, that was like, as far as football ref screaming goes, it was kind of beyond the pale. Like, I'm trying to think of the last time I saw someone even do that. Like someone who's even considered that kind of guy.
And another one, Sweetheart Shorts. God knows what's going on in his bedroom. Pretty surprised at your reaction to Mahomes. I thought he should be cut some slack given that he's never really done this. Everyone has a moment where they lose.
Okay.
All right.
I don't want him kicked out of the league.
But he's doubling and tripling down on it. Get frustrated. Get mad. You lose, but don't let us play. Don't enforce the rules. It's hurting our chances of winning. If he wants to rip Tony for being a foot offside, more power to him. He's a leader. He's entitled to do that. He should be frustrated that his team isn't as good as it was last year. Nobody's begrudging him that. But to get on the officials, it's an easy call. He's a foot offside. Why do we got to cut him a slack? Why? He's a great quarterback. We all know that.
He's literally the most famous and beloved player in the game.
But all
and
of a sudden, one thing doesn't go his way. One thing, and that's the way he acts.
And then, hold on. Then on top of that, we're not even allowed to be critical after he has the moment?
Stop it already. Now, all of a sudden, Chief fans coming out of the woodwork. 20 years ago, you didn't even know who Deron Cherry was. Now, all of a sudden, there's Chief fans all over the world. There's Chief fans now. 30 years ago, you couldn't name a Chief. Now, all of a sudden, I got Chief fans attacking me on social media. The Chiefs? Really? Where were you 30 years ago?
Show me your DeBerg jersey.
Thank you.
I want to see your Okoye jersey. Or
I want to see your Todd Blackledge jersey. Where's that?
I mean, but when you think about the Super Bowl last year and how many people believe that the Eagles got rooked, you won a Super Bowl off of a call. The Super Bowl.
But at least there was a call where you had to look at different sides.
Oh, there was nothing
you and
here.
I can decide, was it holding, was it not holding? You could see my 6-year-old twins who don't know football can figure that he's beyond the line of scrimmage.
Daddy, why is he standing where no one else is standing? It was. By the way, I'm not even trying to I don't want to play Natalie but Natalie's not a big football fan. I was starting to explain what happened. She I swear to God, I didn't know Natalie had this in her vocabulary. She went, "Oh no, he's definitely offsides." She's not a football fan. It was that blatant.
I would love to talk to like a Greg Buttle. I would love to talk to Chris Canty. You know, people that we know.
No, a wide receiver would be ideal.
No, but Carl Banks. People that we know that play defense, that have watched this sport evolve into let the offense do whatever they blanking want. All right? Never call offensive pass interference. Let them do whatever. Set, pick, play. We want points. Do whatever you want. Breathe wrong on the quarterback. 15-yard penalty. Convert on a 4th and 30 because there was a gentle hold 5 yards beyond the line of scrimmage. Throw the flag, automatic first down. Score 50 points, score 60 points. Defense can't do anything. And then all of a sudden, the best quarterback in the league, a guy's a foot offside. You want more. Let him play, Peter. Let him be offside. You know what? Let Tony run into the end zone before the snap of the ball. Let him play, Peter. I didn't realize I was watching a game where I was playing Nerf ball in the backyard. You can do whatever you want.
Football Mondays on 98.7.
Box.
Football Mondays on 98.7 ESPN.
Tool shed.
Football Mondays on 98.7 ESPN are brought to you by Sloman's. Sloman's is low-price home heating oil for all New York football fans. Low prices, zero sacrifices for 100 years. Sloman's has been a staple in home comfort. Call 866-OIL-DEAL. That's 1-866-OIL-DEAL.
Tool time.
Let's go to Danny on Long Island. Hey, Danny, sorry I missed you on Friday, bud.
That's okay. A couple of very important points. Let me get on a roll here.
Yeah,
the first person that should be sending Tony a nice Christmas present is the coach of the Buffalo Bills, when with clearly in field goal range and 2:10 to go in the game, and the Chiefs down to 2 timeouts, threw 3 incompletions in a row. Instead of running the ball up the up the middle, draining that clock.
Get under the 2-minute warning, right? I mean, it made sense.
They didn't even get to the 2-minute warning.
Right.
Tony Romo I couldn't even believe what I was seeing. That idiot. But he got bailed out. Secondly, the throw that Kelsey did was so unbelievable, running full speed. My quarterback can't make that throw. Running full speed ahead, he turns to his left, sees a receiver 20 yards behind him to the left, and throws a strike on the run. I'm surprised Tony was even paying attention because he's a bit of a dude. Now,
and by the way, it should be noted, it stunk that we all agree it stunk that we lost that because it was an unbelievable play by Kelsey. We all agree that was awesome. It would, even for Don, it would have been awesome. You can't deny that play.
No, 2 of 3 would be that Mahomes, who's had a charmed life since he was born, was in the bullpen at Shea Stadium warming up with his father, is now facing some serious professional adversity and is
serious
cracking. And last but not least, and of all the things out of my mouth, you will 100% say this was the most agreeable thing I've ever said. I have seen enough of 3 human beings. KK, Casey Hunt, and Brittany Mahomes. Go away, shut up, stop showing them. I don't care. I want to watch football. I don't need to see Tay. I don't need to see Mahomes. Brittany, you got lucky. What can I say? Casey Hunt, you won the DNA lottery. You married. That's it. Go away. Leave it alone. You are making the Chiefs unlikable. They're going to be the Raiders soon.
No, you know what, Danny? You might have won point guard.
You really might have.
Because it is a major part of the heel turn. Let's be real. When we look at this heel turn that has been the Kansas City Chiefs, and this is the heel turn of the Kansas City Chiefs, you have to look at the people in that suite. It really, I mean, honestly, Taylor is like the icing, the biggest, the sweetest, most crazy, butter-filled icing of all time. But it starts with Patrick Mahomes' brother. Then Brittany Mahomes. It's one after another after another. They've created this evil empire. They are the New England Patriots meets the Dallas Cowboys.
Right.
It's repugnant. And guess what? They have one rough moment where they're still sitting at, 9-5? They're going to win the AFC West. They're going to go to the playoffs again. And we have to get a screaming fit from their pretty boy quarterback. I'm sorry. I know everyone listening. I know your 10-year-old son is a Chiefs fan. But guess what? They've gotten obnoxious. That was a tough day for the Chiefs. Very tough. You know what, Don? We should talk to SVP next.
Should.
Get his views on that.
Do it.
On the Giants game tonight, which is on Monday Night Football. Yay! On the Jets, so much more. But first, guys, let me talk to you about better.
All right, here we go. It's a big responsibility to be a designer. Dagny Dover is a bag brand based in New York City, founded by 3 women. We make hyper-functional, performance-driven bags. That's like a mouthful. We're all about getting the most out of life. When you're organized and you have your things together, you feel good. And when you feel good, you can live life intentionally. Oh, it's pronounced Dagny Dover. Dagny means new dawn. It's a new dawn for fashion.
There are things that I can get from The Athletic that I can't get from other places, especially in women's sports. It's the outlet that I consider to be the most equitable when it comes to covering women's and men's sports. The Athletic also provides in-depth coverage of my teams that aren't in my city. It makes me feel at home even when I'm not there.
With ButcherBox, you never have to worry about what's for dinner. We deliver grass-fed beef, organic free-range chicken, humanely raised pork, wild-caught seafood, and so much more. Get high-quality meat sourced from trusted partners with free shipping always. Sign up today and get free chicken wings for a year. ButcherBox.
Get tools that bring every angle of your beauty business together. Clients can book online 24/7 for multiple services and multiple staff, so scheduling is simple. And with client notes and stored payments, you can offer seamless checkouts, so clients keep coming back. Run your beauty business with tools that bring everything together. Get started at square.com today.
Get ready for the British Basketball League. 10 teams, one electrifying league. Global talent, local passion. The British Basketball League.
The most important tool on any job site in America is the one you wear on your feet for 40 hours a week.
Wait, what?
My name is Eric Gerard. I started Brunt Workwear in my garage for my buddies in the trades. The modern construction worker has different needs than they did 100 years ago. That's why at Brunt, our gear is designed by workers for workers with premium technologies like triple layer comfort, slip and oil resistant soles, and a triple layer waterproofing system. Go online for free shipping and try any of our gear on the job for 30 days, risk-free.
My goal is to become the place where parents and caregivers come to find childcare that works for them.
My goal is to build the largest university in the world.
My dream is to be the telemedicine provider for kids and families to stop generational trauma.
I want to change culture. I want to enable these gaming communities to become self-sufficient. That's the goal.
Funded by Medicaid, Freedom Care allows people to choose who provides their care, and the caregiver gets paid instantly after their shift.
Life is sweeter with her around.
Nana gave me so much joy as a child. Now it's my turn to return the love.
Call now to find out benefits and pay and how fast you can get started.
10 years ago, we started Untuckit out of my apartment, and today we have more than 80 stores worldwide. It's been quite a journey. We didn't just create shirts designed to be worn untucked, we perfected them. With great fabrics and design at the perfect untucked length, so you can look sharp in this new business comfortable world. Just look for our signature sale. Untuck It, 10 years in the making, and we're nowhere close to stopping. Find the perfect holiday gift at untuckit.com today.
Let's get it. There's never been a better time to get away with a great deal on the Hyundai you've always wanted. Plus America's best warranty and up to 3 years complimentary maintenance. It's your journey. Own every mile at the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Now's the time to get in and get away. Get 0% APR for 60 months, plus 0 payments for 90 days, or $3,500 bonus cash on the Santa Fe during the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event.
What does $1 million in casino prizes look like? It's not just a snowfall, not just a snowball. It's an avalanche. Don't miss Winterfest on Hard Rock Bet. That's $1 million worth of sweepstakes, tournaments, hot seats, leaderboards, and more. You never know what surprise awaits or what you could win every time you log in. Winterfest, 2 months only. Download Hard Rock Bet and let your $1 million winter begin.
This match was made in baseball heaven.
It's the perfect acquisition for this team.
You're getting Juan Soto, whose career is on a Hall of Fame trajectory.
The Yankees have made their offense must-watch TV.
The Michael K. Show, 98.7 ESPN. And yes, and every single Monday, we are pleased to be joined by our good friend, Scott Van Pelt. Of course, you can catch him every single Monday night on Countdown as we get ready for a big night, a double header. Scott, SVP, what is the, first of all, happy holidays.
Yeah.
We love you. And what is the thought process on bringing back the double header here late in the year?
Okay, first of all, happy holidays to everybody up in the city, and our best to Michael as well. I don't know. I'm really curious logistically. I'm just being honest. They don't ask me. We're on after and before, and then during. And then the doubleheaders that we had early in the year were at different times. I think it's sort of all part of the NFL's grand plan, and it's a bit of an experiment. They've done them staggered. You want to see how does that work, and you want to do them at the same time just to see one's on ABC, one's on ESPN, sort of like how does the viewership work. I mean, we're obviously happy to have them on both networks, and I'll be there to do updates in the middle and theoretically do halftimes and do post shows when they end. I don't know what happens if they end simultaneously. We'll figure it out. But I think it's just a matter of seeing sort of what's people's appetite when they're going simultaneously. I'm sure people will complain because, as you know, Peter and Don, that's kind of how people are wired.
Oh, yeah, sure.
It's to complain about anything, but we've got several games, so hopefully you've got either several televisions or a good remote.
Now, I got a text message from a buddy from my hometown in Hawthorne, New Jersey. that sent like a flyer that Tommy DeVito is going to make an appearance there next week. And like young Don LaGreca, like 10, 11-year-old Don LaGreca would be flipping out that a Giant would be coming to my hometown. Like it's crazy what's been happening to him. It's not quite Linsanity level, but he's definitely made the Giants interesting. But does he give them the best chance to win tonight? I was a little taken aback that they went with DeVito, thinking that why not give it to Tyrod Taylor? He's more experienced. This technically is a game in which the Giants are alive. Do you think they believe DeVito gives them a better chance, or do they know, hey, really, we're not making the playoffs. This story is too good. I want to see what this kid can do the rest of the way. What do you think their motivation truly was behind starting Tommy tonight?
I think that's interesting, Don. And I think it's just one of those two things can be true at one scenarios, right? Where you've got a kid, and I think I talked with you guys about this, about my odd sort of connection to knowing the backstory of the dad from Bloomfield, New Jersey. And I totally get the appeal in that part of the world to this guy, right? And the whole story, lives at home, mom makes the bed, yada, yada, fine. But I also think, even as much as I respect Tyrod Taylor, and I've talked about this with you on the show, that here's a guy that they've won some games. I thought he couldn't do it initially. Like that Dallas game, I thought, oh God, this poor guy. I mean, he didn't have a chance. But since then, it's looked better. And I don't think Daboll trots a guy out there, truthfully, that he doesn't think can give them a chance. And there's nothing that says that if it goes poorly for a quarter or two that you can't say, look, we're going to get, the proverbial spark from Tyrod. But I think this might be one of those two things are kind of true at the same time.
Yeah, it also feels like this is the real game. This is a Green Bay team that is feisty and trying to make the playoffs, and this is not a game against like the New England Patriots or the Washington Commanders. You know what I mean? Who obviously are owned by the Giants. So I think there's a lot to gain from Tommy DeVito, whether he's the real deal tonight. Because I'll tell you what, I think Green Bay's gotten pretty good, Scott.
Yes, they have. And I think I always look at it from the perspective of how we're trying to do our show. So much of this gets looked at through the lens of a quarterback. And I understand why. Jordan Love succeeding, Aaron Rodgers. I understand that it's going to be an interesting storyline to see how does it develop. And he's been better. But I also think their defense has been better as well. And they've beaten good teams. And we've talked every Monday about kind of like the wins that teams have. And I look at, say, the Giants record, like, how the hell did they win 4 games? I can't remember how they did it. Well, 2 of them, they get to play Washington, so there's that. But in the case of Green Bay, I mean, you beat Kansas City, which that's a good victory. You beat Detroit on the road on Thanksgiving. That's a good victory. And they've gotten momentum beating decent teams, good teams. And so, this is the kind of game, if they're real, if they truly are going to be on the back end of the playoff in the NFC, well, then you got to go to New York and you got to beat a team that you're theoretically better than.
I don't know how you feel about last night's Chiefs-Bills game. I felt like how Mahomes acted at the end of the game and how they reacted in the post-game press conferences about the offside. I think they turned heel last night. There's always been a fun, rootable type team that you get behind. Now, with all the winning and the way I thought they reacted, I thought they came across as babies, and I thought they turned heel last night. Do you agree or disagree?
I'm with you. I think that it's really, really difficult for a team who's benefited as much as they've benefited, not just from being great, which you don't benefit from being great. You're great because you're great. But they also benefit with a call that changed the Super Bowl. I mean, and James Bradbury, after the game, hand up, said, yeah, I mean, I hate it, but, yeah, I guess that was on me. And they refused to do that. Kansas, like what Patrick Mahomes was saying, and he was absolutely livid, but it wasn't making much sense. Like, I just want to make plays and whatever. Just let the players play and whatever. Well, yeah, but there's rules, man. We live in a society, and you have to make the call because he's standing a yard offside. And if you apply the same sort of explanation that he gave after that to the Super Bowl, so by that same definition, then there should have been no call on Bradbury. And this incredible back-and-forth Super Bowl that allowed you to kick a field goal to win the game, it's the same idea. There's a rule, and they enforced it. And it's not the official's job. We had John Perry on SportsCenter last night explaining, like, the line judge, if they give you that look, right, and this actually happened to Washington last year against the Giants. Terry McLaurin gave the guy the look. The official gave him a thumbs up, like, you're good, and then still threw the flag. Like that, Washington had a right to be livid given the way that went, but it was Washington, and nobody turned it into this giant disaster. Well, this is Kansas City, and so now they're acting like they've been wronged. I totally disagree with that. Their reaction is really distasteful.
I couldn't agree with you more. I kept thinking about the Terry thing, too. He looked at the ref. The ref looked at him. That looked like a screw job. Like, I thought that was Bret Hart in Montreal. That's a real screw job. But this is just a bad play by Kadarius Toney. And, yes, does it stink that we lost a play? I mean, Scott, this is a game. My wife has no vested interest whatsoever in this game and is jumping off the couch because of the play. It sucks that we lost it. I think we all agree. But how do you not throw the flag when someone's entire body is offsides?
You have to, and I'm not a huge fan of the screenshot on Twitter because you can make it say what you want it to say in many cases. But when you see Rashee Rice's front foot is on the 50 and Tony's back foot is on the 50 because he's a full yard offside, you're like, what are we looking at? And here's the other thing, boys. Like, Mahomes they're acting like they threw the flag after the fact. The flag's in the air as the play is starting.
Yes.
Like, they threw the flag, and then on the back end, you're like, wow, that was an incredible play that changes the lead. But by the way, it puts Kansas City ahead. Doesn't mean they win the game. Josh Allen's got a $122, I want to say it was, or 112, whatever, to try to go down the field in Arrowhead, something he's been able to do in the past. Doesn't mean he would have this time, but he would have had the chance. So, listen, I get being pissed. I do. I get that it sucks because it does. But I also think it was offsides because it was.
Yeah, no question. And before we let you go, just your thoughts. Like, how should Jet fans feel today? On the one hand, their quarterback played well. Their offense played well. They're still mathematically alive for a playoff spot. They didn't embarrass themselves. But all I keep thinking about is, where was this early on? Why didn't they play this way earlier in the season when there was a very good chance this team could still have made the playoffs?
I don't know. I was figuring we'd talk about this. Listen, this guy's taking a ton of crap, Zach Wilson, and I think today's a day that he deserves the credit for what he did. It was a game. At halftime, I'm just laughing like, my God, these poor people in MetLife. It's another one of these games between the Giants and the Jets. We've laughed about this in our visits. Like, that's just another horrible, low-scoring disaster and bad weather. Well, the second 30 minutes of football, you can't get a whole lot better. He's looking for Garrett Wilson, finding him, throwing the ball down the field, a little bit more confidence. They took advantage of, there's some bad penalties when the game's still kind of hanging there in the balance. And I think you give the credit for what it is, and you don't try to extrapolate the larger meaning. Like, does this mean he can do it? Is he the franchise's guy? Well, no, we've got too much evidence to the contrary. I think it's just one of those things where if it's a happier Monday in the office and you get to bust the guy's chops that's given you crap for the last 2 months, well, then you enjoy that. But I don't know that it's anything more than that.
Talking with Scott Van Pelt as we get ready for Monday Night Football. And before we let you go, one more thing on the Jets, though. Is there a chance that Zach Wilson puts together like another game and actually plays well again? Or was that just a happenstance kind of moment?
I mean, I said no just instinctively. I don't think so. I mean, again, I think it's a one-off, and you treat it as such. And until you, like, what's the line that Boomer and TJ would always say on Countdown or Prime Time? Once is an accident, twice is a trend. Well, okay, maybe this wasn't an accident, but I need to see two, Peter, for it to be a trend, and it's not a trend yet. But whatever, it was a solid win against the team that came in, 7-5, and they faced. That Jet defense has put it on a lot of people all year long. That's been the calling card. That's been the consistent. Yeah. That's what you should feel good about, is that side of the ball.
Scott, we appreciate your time every week. I'm not going to be on next week. I don't know if you are, but we appreciate you, and happy holidays, man. 7 ESPN, and yes.
We just signed the lease on our third shop. I guess we're a chain now, right? We've worked so hard to get here. My assistant went to customink.com to get our new uniforms and merch with all the location names. Our custom gear helps him get our brand out into the community. He takes care of all of our custom ink orders. He was able to find great products, upload the new art, and have boxes sent directly to each of the shops. Custom Ink makes it so easy. Get started today at customink.com.
With ButcherBox, you never have to worry about what's for dinner. We deliver grass-fed beef, organic, free-range chicken, humanely raised pork, wild-caught seafood, and so much more. Get high-quality meat sourced from trusted partners with free shipping always. Sign up today and get free chicken wings for a year. Butcher Box.
I saw some of my favorite reporters were at The Athletic, and I thought, wow, I need to check this out. The content was just totally amazing. And so I kept renewing, and, now I'm a huge fan of The Athletic and can't imagine my sports life without it. What I enjoy the most about The Athletic is the emotion behind a lot of the stories. If you like sports at any level, they have something for you.
See everything your restaurant can do with tools from Square. Get a POS that connects to a KDS so you can handle orders ASAP. Reach more customers with online ordering and QR codes. Use pocket-sized hardware so you can turn tables faster. And get one account for everything so you can take care of it all and take it easy too. Get your all-in-one restaurant system and sign up at square.com today.
My goal is to become the place where parents and caregivers come to find childcare that works for them.
My goal is to build the largest university in the world.
My dream is to be the telemedicine provider for kids and families to stop generational trauma.
I want to change culture. I want to enable these gaming communities to become self-sufficient. That's the goal.
All right, here we go. It's a big responsibility to be a designer. Dagny Dover is a bag brand based in New York City, founded by 3 women. We make hyper-functional, performance-driven bags. That's like a mouthful. We're all about getting the most out of life. When you're organized and you have your things together, you feel good. And when you feel good, you can live life intentionally. Oh, it's pronounced Dagny Dover. Dagny means new dawn. It's a new dawn for fashion.
Get ready for the British Basketball League. 10 teams, one electrifying league. Global talent, local passion. The British Basketball League.
It's the biggest financial decision of your life. Call 800-LAW-6789 or visit misowin.com.
HCM is a serious heart condition affecting as many as 1 in 200 people, like me.
And me. I was still short of breath on my beta blocker.
So I talked to my cardiologist
and asked about treatment advances in HCM.
That talk made a real difference.
It gave me new hope.
Talk to your cardiologist today. Visit hcmrealtalk.com to learn more.
Ma, are you sure you don't want to go bowling with us tonight?
Yeah, no.
There's my little marzipan. Oh, my daughter gives the best hugs.
We're just passing through on our way to the Jazz Jamboree. And we wanted to thank America's #1 motorcycle insurer for saving us money.
Mara, your parents are
exactly like me. I know, right?
Well, cherish your friends and loved ones.
Let's roll, Daddy-O.
Let's boogie woogie.
When choosing between style, comfort, and performance, we chose all of the above. How we get there matters. Get exceptional offers at your local Audi dealer.
We're all trying to put together the pieces.
It is clear they have a plan.
The wheels are turning. It's going to be chess match. Yankees hot stove is back.
A lot to talk about. Who is he going to sign with? How much is he going to sign for?
Plus, you never know what guests will join us.
The NFL yesterday.
Alrighty, a lot did happen in the NFL
That's right,
yesterday.
the foosball.
That's right. Which is why we're talking about the NFL yesterday. It's brought to you by Pajamagram. Let's get right into it. The Ravens looked like they were going to suffer a shocking loss to the LA Rams, but a walk-off TD by Tylan Wallace gave Baltimore the win in overtime. Let's hear what it sounded like with our friend Steve Levy on ESPN Radio.
So Ethan Evans back to punt for the Rams now. Clean snap, gets it in the air. Tylan Wallace will move up at the 25 and catch the punt. Cuts to the left, trying to get outside, cuts up, spin move, 35-40. Across midfield, down the sideline, not tripped up at all. Runs down the sideline. There are no flags. 75 yards. Tylan Wallace on a punt return in overtime. Nobody needs an extra point here. This game is over.
This was the fourth overtime punt return touchdown in NFL history. Of course, we know one because it came this year with your New York Jets.
That's right.
Xavier Gibson, of course, versus the Bills. Per Elias, the 7 lead changes in the game are tied for the second most in a game this season, trailing only the Browns and Colts Week 7 matchup that had 8 lead changes. And remember, I was saying on Friday, Don, I feel like I'm stupid for not being interested in picking the Ravens because it seems like they cover in every random spot where you're not paying attention. It was pretty clear yesterday they were not going to cover at any point.
No, that was a good game. They were not, you're right, they were not going to cover. And, of course, once they went to overtime, no shot. That ended up kicking off at like 7.
Yeah.
At times it was 7.5. Not even close.
Lamar Jackson on the Wallace touchdown.
I was prepared to go back on the field. I thought it was going to be like a fair catch or something. But, people on the sideline, you have time. Tell him you got time. I guess he heard it, and he went crazy. That looked like a movie. Like, I was sitting in the locker room, like, he just showed his butt. He just showed his tail. He just showed off. And, man, that was just a spectacular return. That was crazy.
I made a joke on Friday's show, and I think, Don, the joke deserves a little more credit.
Go ahead.
If I'm not in on the Lions, you should have concern. Especially if it's just you and Michael, there's reason for concern.
Yeah, I'm shocked. I'm really disappointed.
It happened on Thanksgiving as well.
Yeah.
And it happened again yesterday. I think Michael's sort of he's like Drake for the Lions. You don't want him in on the Lions. We kept saying that line, I kept thinking at least the line against the Bears felt a little funny. Short line in Chicago, and guess what? In the end, it was not Detroit's day. Chicago gets the win. Let's hear the play-by-play from Dan Horde on ESPN 1000 in Chicago.
Third down and goal at the 11-yard line now. Roshan Johnson to the backfield, snap to Fields, rolling to his right. Fields looking, going to keep it at 10 to the 5, to the end zone. Touchdown! Touchdown Bears! And a juicy 7 for QB1. 11-yard run. And the Bears up 25-13 in the first minute of the fourth quarter here at raucous Soldier Field.
And lo and behold, you look up, the Bears are 5-8. This is not a terrible football
They're not
team.
embarrassing themselves at all.
Like, it seemed like such a freakish loss for me when the Commanders lost to the Bears. Now I realize the Bears are actually a half-decent football team. Not bad. Since their Week 9 bye, the Lions have allowed the second most points in the NFL. Twice as many rushing touchdowns as they did in their first 8 games, and have allowed more fourth down conversions than they did in their first 8 games. Let's hear from Coach Dan Campbell.
I think the teams that are able to respond after you lose a tough one, it's not easy to gain confidence in losses, but I think you have to be able to do that because you understand your own errors, you understand what you have to clean up, and then you don't want to lose that way again.
Yeah, things not great right now for Detroit. But what are they sitting at, Don? 9-4?
Yes, they're good. They're fine.
They're fine.
But there's something not happening. They're not trending in the right direction.
No, they're definitely not trending in the right direction. Travis Kelce, of course, had an incredible play that you thought was a win for the Kansas City Chiefs. Although we get too crazy with that. Knowing that game, Don, it still would have been too much time on the clock.
Right, exactly.
How much time was left on that play?
Oh, it was
minute and a half?
It was over a minute.
It was over a minute still. But of course, you know by now.
Sure.
Kadarius Toney lined up offsides and negated an incredible. It would have been a legendary play.
I believe I saw on social media that they were able to actually see it from space.
That's how offside he was? So someone in space.
Yes, they were able to see it. A Great Wall of China, and they were able to see the storm that hit the East Coast, and they were able to see that he was a foot offside.
Here's the play-by-play of the whole thing from 106.5 The Wolf. Kansas City.
20-17 Buffalo. They send another blitz. Selling out. Flag on the play. Might be a free one. They've got Kelsey at the 30. Kelsey 25. Angling back. 20. Now he's going to lateral it back at the 15-yard line. It's Tony. 10, 5. Touchdown. Kansas City. They mess around in practice with this all the time. It's going to go with a 49-yard touchdown. Kelsey, the old University of Cincinnati quarterback.
Offside. Number 19, offense, lined up in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Offsides by the offense, lined up in the neutral zone.
Who was it on?
On Kadarius.
Oh, my goodness.
That was one of my favorite replays I've heard in so long because they were celebrating it up to the point of the referee interruption. That made it really, beautiful. They thought it was a free play.
Right.
And I get it. I get why timing-wise they thought it was a free play. It's not like offsides on the offense is common, Don. The lining up in the neutral zone doesn't happen all the time.
But that's all that it could have been is either lining up in the neutral zone depending on which team it is. When they throw it immediately, because if there's movement, they blow the play dead. And you didn't see anybody move. Like, nobody jumped offside. It was the lineup, so it's just a matter of who lined up offside. Now, I'm not going to kill them. They're high up. Probably didn't notice. I didn't know. Did you notice? No. You didn't notice in real time, but I had a feeling that it was going to be on the Chiefs.
Here's Andy Reid. Did Kadarius Toney check with the ref?
Normally, he looks over to the sideline and just gets an okay. And on that one, he just happened not to. So that would be the coaching point. Make sure you check with the guy on the side just to see if you're aligned. I mean, he's not lining up off sides on purpose. And listen, he was 2 inches away from or an inch from being legal. Like I said, you can argue both sides of it. It's for both teams. There are things that happen where people, it happens like that. So I guess the league's trying to clean that up from what I heard by one of the broadcasters last
You don't like that? Shove it.
One of the words that came to mind during that inane rambling by Andy Reid was nuggies. He wanted the nuggies. If he thought it was just a couple of inches, you know what? Go see an eye doctor. Get an exam. A foot is not described. He was almost a yard offside. Seriously. He was come back to me, man. I like you. I genuinely like this team. I do.
Time.
But I'm sorry. I can't let my prejudice get in the way of calling a tool a tool.
That's what makes you great, Don.
Tool time. Because I like Andy Reid, and I like Patrick Mahomes. They both acted like complete fools yesterday. They should be embarrassed with themselves.
Yeah, no, it was a tough day for the Chiefs yesterday. If you're a Chiefs fan, you're not.
And what are you saying it to Allen? You're congratulating him on the victory. And he's complaining to Allen. Oh, you don't make that call. What? Why? Because the referees supposed to be just entertained by offense? You're supposed to be able to do whatever you want?
Why did he say it to Allen, too?
Because he lost himself. He lost himself in Tool.
Here we go. Oh, here we go. Here it is.
Offensive offsides on that penalty, man. F***ing terrible.
I understood why in the moment he thought it was like, maybe, I wonder, I would love audio of him watching the replay.
Have you ever heard anybody complain about an offside call? I mean, it's the one, it's black and white, right? It's that you're onside or offside. Like, it wasn't a judgment call. I can get a pass interference, the roughing the passer. He's offside. He never
checked
checked
cool.
with the
His
official.
voice is weird. He's kind of a dork. His brother's a tool. His girlfriend's annoying. Meanwhile, in Dallas last night, the Dallas Cowboys made a statement. 33-13 winners over the Philadelphia Eagles. Let's hear Brad Sham on 105.3, The Fan.
Back to throw, looking left, looking right, pumps, runs out to the left. Throws on the run, Lamb at the 7, and strolls in. Walks all the dogs. Touchdown, Lamb.
And that is a win for your Dallas Cowboys. That's the NFL yesterday. Brought to you by Pajamagram. Soft, silky, a best-selling Christmas gift for her. Get a free $75 nightie with naturally nude pajamas from pajamagram.com.
They're the second best team in football.
Cowboys? This is their time of year. This is cowboy time.
But no, it's not. This is usually the time where...
Up until we have another couple weeks. Another week.
No, but I'm telling you, there's something different.
You're sensing something different?
I'm sensing something different about this Cowboy team. I am.
All right, well, it's time to get into a really big
What do you mean?
5 o'clock hour, Don.
Talk to me.
We got to talk about the Jets. We got to talk about the Giants game tonight. We still haven't touched on Shohei Ohtani's $700 million deal. We haven't mentioned LeBron James and the Los Angeles Lakers winning the in-season tournament.
Did you watch?
That's what I wanted to find out. We'll talk about all of that in a big 5 o'clock hour right here on the K Show on 98.7 ESPN and Yes.
Custom Ink helps us celebrate and drive our students' achievements with custom gear. They love Custom Ink's different styles and designs. We love how Custom Ink makes the process simple with their easy-to-use design lab, expert artists ready to help, and unbeatable customer service. Custom Ink allows our kids to show everyone their accomplishments and the pride they have in our school. When we place an order, I know they got our back, so we can focus on the kids.
Custom Ink has hundreds of products to help you feel connected. Upload your logo or start your design today at customink.com.
I'm Jessie Dover, co-founder of Dagny Dover. New York isn't for the faint of heart. The gear you carry around not only has to look good, but it has to work even better. That's why we create bags like the Landon Carryall, a bag that allows organizational junkies like me to be ready for whatever life brings. A bag that allows me to feel good about the things I carry. After all, this city is a reflection of who I am, purposeful, resilient, and ready to face whatever comes my way.
For far too long, millions of Americans have been strapping on uncomfortable work boots pushed by out-of-touch corporate types. Hey! To design boots and apparel that hardworking men and women actually want, you have to get on the job site and listen.
And that's why Brunt names gear after guys like us.
Apart from making our boots and apparel innovative, reliable, and insanely comfortable, we back all of our gear with a 30-day on-the-job risk-free trial. You deserve better. You deserve Brunt.
Try any of Brunt's gear on the job for 30 days risk-free.
All right, here we go. It's a big responsibility to be a designer. Dagny Dover is a bag brand based in New York City, founded by 3 women. We make hyper-functional, performance-driven bags. That's like a mouthful. We're all about getting the most out of life. When you're organized and you have your things together, you feel good. And when you feel good, you can live life intentionally. Oh, it's pronounced Dagny Dover. Dagny means new dawn. It's a new dawn for fashion.
With ButcherBox, you never have to worry about what's for dinner. We deliver grass-fed beef, organic free-range chicken, humanely raised pork, wild-caught seafood, and so much more. Get high-quality meat sourced from trusted partners with free shipping, always. Sign up today and get free chicken wings for a year. ButcherBox.
Up your fan engagement with Yes Rewards on the Yes app. Watch live games and earn points. Play the hottest games and score more. Earn status, then redeem your points to win prizes. Yes Rewards on the Yes app.
Go over any type of terrain with Ford Bronco Sport.
How's the weather?
All good.
And the confidence of GOAT modes. And the versatile Ford Explorer with available seating for 7. And with power on demand in the all-electric Ford F-150 Lightning, well, that's how Ford is making the holidays bright. See your Ford dealer today during the Make the Holidays Bright sales event.
We all smoked in those days. If that was you then, get your lungs screened now.
K-Show 98.7 ESPN, watching us around the nation on the Yes Network. Oh, guys, we have a bunch of open phone lines right now. Thanks to everything that's been going on the last hour. So if you've been trying to get a hold of us, you got an opportunity at 1-800-919-3776. We want to talk some football, some Shohei Ohtani, some NBA in-season tournament, some Giants Monday Nighter tonight against Green Bay, whatever you want. It's all on the table for you. And, guys, how about this? Keep it locked to the K-Show for the next hour and a half.
Why?
For your chance to score tickets to WWE Live, the holiday tour at MSG on Tuesday, December 26th. Don, that's the day after Christmas to you and me.
That is. Is that Boxing Day?
That's what they call it.
Yes.
See the triple threat match for the World Heavyweight Championship between Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre, and Shinsuke Nakamura, plus Cody Rhodes, Dom Mysterio, Rhea Ripley, and more. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com, but we're going to give away some tickets shortly.
I like it.
We spoke earlier to Coach Robert Saleh about the big Jets W yesterday. And Rex Ryan, of course, he's on DiPietro and Rothenberg every week. He had some thoughts on Zach's performance.
Is it the fact he's played poor football or this offense has played poor football?
I think all of it, no?
Yeah, well, yeah, but the thing is, this offensive line has been atrocious in the years that he's played. And that's why I'm thinking, like, telling you, you watch, this kid's going to end up playing in this league. And it's going to be like, oh, dang, we had this kid. And that's why I'm saying, like, for him, I thought it was a mistake to bench him for guys that clearly don't have the skill set to play in this league. And he can't get better by sitting on the bench. So give him an opportunity to play.
I agree with some of that.
Yeah, I do too.
Not all of it,
it was never all Zach's fault, but just because Zach balled out yesterday doesn't mean he's going to continue to do that, and it doesn't mean that it exonerates him from any wrongdoing earlier in the season. But it is a step in the right direction, and I think it does put a focus on what was different about this offense and the play calling and just the aggressiveness. Why were they aggressive? Well, they were aggressive because they're done. Maybe not mathematically. Going into the game, they had a 0.1% chance of making the playoffs. It's now 0.4%. So, yeah, they're alive, but barely. Would that game have happened if it was week 2? That's the question. And even Robert Saleh, I mean, he gives you a word salad, and I give him credit because he warned us this might be over our head. Now, a lot of people think that he was insulting us by saying that. I think he realizes that he's trying to put into words something that's really hard to explain, is the phenomenon of Wilson and his confidence or lack thereof. And I think you nailed it, Peter. He's got confidence, but sometimes he's got confidence in the wrong places. He thinks he can do it all. And then sometimes he doesn't think he can do it at all. It's so crazy. It is such a mental issue with him, and that's why he's so difficult to figure out. Clearly, the physical tools are there. That's why he was drafted 2nd overall. But it gets in his head, and when his head is clear, he can do it. But playing in New York, playing in front of a big crowd, which they didn't yesterday because of the weather, you had to be nuts to sit out there, Peter. I mean, a torrential downpour in a meaningless game, I give the fans that stayed there a lot of credit. But how would it be in a primetime game when your team is not just mathematically alive, but in a position to make the playoffs? Would he have performed the same way? I think that is very much up for debate.
Let's go to Sherman in Clifton. Hey, Sherman.
Hey, guys. What's going on? How are you? Great job as usual.
Thanks, man.
So I wanted to go the other way here. I wanted to say that, first of all, the guy was offside, right?
Yes.
But I think Patrick is getting killed for no reason, and I'll tell you why.
Why?
Where were you guys when Brady a couple of weeks ago said the league was soft and they're not letting the guys play?
We agreed with
him. Patrick is really I know you guys agreed with him, but see, essentially, Patrick is going the other way. In other words, we all know that while we're watching football, sometimes it seems like on every play, these guys are throwing flags.
Right, and who are those flags on, Sherman?
9 times out of 10.
9 times out of 10, when you see a flag, who's that flag on?
Oh, the flag is usually on the defense,
yes.
And that's the point I'm making.
Okay.
Because they got to the point where it's almost like Brady was the golden child, and they got to protect the quarterback, score points, and like you said earlier today, Don, ask all these defensive players, it's getting to the point where you can't play. So the overall point that I'm making is that Patrick's frustration is born out of the fact they are throwing these flags at critical times in these games, and they are affecting the outcomes of these games. In general, forget the Super Bowl last year.
You're right, but in those situations, Sherman, what makes it so frustrating is in the overwhelming majority of those times, it's subjective. Was it pass interference? Was it roughing the passer? This is easy. He's offside. There's no debate. He's offside. You throw the flag. If there had been, I don't know, an offensive pass interference call on Kelce, where it was debatable whether he got separation or not, then the caller, Sherman, could make his point that the officials are getting too involved in the game. Peter, it's not getting involved in the game when you throw a flag when a guy's a yard offside. You know who it's on? It's on the player. You know, sometimes all of these calls are not the official's fault. It's the player's fault for committing it in the first place. And that's what category this one falls in. Stop trying to mansplain the whole defending of Mahomes. He was wrong. Chiefs are wrong. Heel. They full heel turned.
Let's keep going. I'm sorry, I'm looking at different people are posting like different things on Twitter with images of the play, some of which are just wrong. Like they remove, like this is the internet that we live in today. Like people will post like, I don't see anything wrong, and Tony's literally removed from the play. Or I'm like, or is he, or like, did you guys just move him back?
No, some of them are, he's in the play, they have him like in the secondary. Like they've moved him around. Yeah. It's
Okay. That's happening out here. Let's go to Brian in Lindenhurst. Hey, Brian.
Hey, good evening, Peter and Don. How you guys doing?
What's up, Brian?
I just wanted to make a quick point of. Good. I wanted to make a quick point about the Jets' offense. So I'm a big Steeler fan, right? And it's unbelievable to see how in a kind of, if you will, epic game where Zach Wilson is told, you know what, man, just go out there and be competitive and go loose. It just blows my mind to see how good that offense can actually look in crappy weather, getting first downs. Like you guys mentioned earlier, it was 0-0, and then it was an explosion of offensive yards and scoring. And it blows my mind as a Steeler fan watching that game yesterday. And I know we have backups and all that stuff, but even with our number with Kenny Pickett, like I don't think I've ever seen Kenny Pickett have a game like that. And it's unbelievable. And just a quick point about that Patrick Mahomes, you guys were mentioning it and just trying to stay on topic. I honestly think that was an explosion of Mahomes' emotions towards Tony. I think he had enough of Kadarius. He had dropped a pass earlier in the game. He dropped, obviously, a pass in Week 1 against Detroit. And I think that was just a frustration. He can't show up his guy on national TV, right? Everyone's watching this game. So I think it was more of him just exploding on the ref, but that was really towards, like, just the frustration that he has with Tony because he just keeps screwing his team over.
Now, I don't know what's said behind closed doors. I mean, you make a very interesting point, but he better made that clear to Tony behind closed doors. Otherwise, your doubling down is going to give him no credibility whatsoever or no feeling like, oh, I'm in trouble from screwing up. Like, don't absolve him publicly of his mistake. I'm not saying you got to rip into him, Peter, but don't sit there and just blame the officials and blame everybody else instead of blaming the person that deserves to be blamed. There has to be a level of accountability for what Tony did. Look at the official and make sure you're on side. In a big play, didn't do it. He screwed up.
And also, if that was what happened, and so he had a big explosion because of his frustration with Tony, I mean, I don't know, it feels kind of soft, like to have a tantrum towards the ref, who's, let's be honest, it's, in some ways, it's a lot easier. It's way easier to yell at the ref than your teammate. You know, it sort of says something about are you the kind of guy? By the way, you don't have to yell at him either. You could go sit. Just Mahomes just coming up and talking to him and being like, dude, what are you doing here?
Okay. But I'm sure he knew he was mic'd. But do you think some message was being sent out there? I mean, he was complaining to Josh Allen about it. They truly believe. Can we stop with the whole ulterior motives? he didn't believe a flag should have been thrown. And you know what? Then I've got an issue with you if you believe that the official is wrong here. Do you think he's sending a message to Tony? Do you think he's expressing his frustrations on what has not been a Kansas City-like season? Or do you think he legitimately believed they shouldn't have thrown a flag?
It's a good question.
You know, I'm looking at, remember all the holding penalties that weren't called on Kansas City in the Jet game when Mahomes is running for like 50 yards down the field? The Jets might have complained, but did they act like tools after the game? That it seemed like the officials were letting Mahomes be Mahomes? He came across as an entitled little brat. Good guy, great quarterback. Really bad moment for Patrick. Really bad.
Now, well, I'm told that we should listen to this Orlovsky audio, which we'll get into.
He's cutting.
Yeah, we'll get to it. I'm told that the crux of it, Don, is that this play was happening regularly, and it was not called throughout the day. Does that affect you at all? If they saw it happening, never called it, and then in a huge moment decided to call it.
No, but so you think it's okay that you've been getting away with it? That you can continue to line up a yard offside?
I'm not saying that. I'm asking a question. But, like, does it change?
No.
What? So, now, here, let's hear. Let's hear. This is a clip of Dan Orlovsky from NFL Live. Let's hear what Dan has to say.
That play that we're talking about was not the first time it happened in the game. This is the second play of the game. His first snap. Kadarius Toney's up top. He is on the line. Now, the guy opposite him is supposed to be on the line as well, but he's about 3 or 4 inches behind Kadarius Toney. That's almost the same alignment that we're talking about when it comes to the flag getting thrown. But there's no warning that gets shared with Kadarius Toney on this play. This is his first snap of the game. Okay, a little bit later. Look at where the football is. The football is on the 30-yard line. Look at where Kadarius Toney is. He's in that same exact alignment. Now look at the receiver opposite him. That guy is supposed to be on the line of scrimmage as well, but he's actually in the right alignment. So Kadarius Toney is basically in the same alignment that he was when that flag got thrown. A little bit later in the game, Kadarius Toney, look where the football is. Look at where his foot is. That looks exactly like the play that happens with the lateral. The guy opposite him, he's technically on the line as well, but he's 3 or 4 inches off. Kadarius Toney is in that same alignment consistently throughout that football game. Never once does he check with the official, but never once in that same alignment did the official ever warn him, hey, you have to get back. So is he offsides on that final play? Yeah, he probably is, but he was 3, 4, 5 other times in that game. So it's incumbent upon the officials in that situation to make sure he gets warned, because that final play happened multiple times within that football game.
I'm sorry. I'm not letting him off the hook. Sorry, Dan. Not doing it.
All right, well, you know who we can ask about this? The man on the call for Monday Night Football tonight, and that would be our very own Joe Buck. Joe, Michael is currently on a boat ride with lots of baseball fans. You are with Peter and Don.
Oh, my God. No, he's not. He's doing like the Yankees cruise or something?
Yeah. Basically,
it's like a baseball cruise.
We were speculating how much cash do they have to give Michael to just be on a baseball cruise for a week?
I did the Cardinal cruise when I was probably 25. It was easily one of the worst weeks of my life.
I want to hear more, Joe.
Oh, man.
Well, is it just the same conversation?
I mean, you can't go anywhere. You can't go anywhere. And if you've been on a cruise, it's basically buffets interrupted by a little time in the sun, and then getting on these ridiculously small boats and bouncing your way to whatever beach you're near. I just don't get it. And maybe I shouldn't say that. But, God love the Yankees, and I'm sure their cruise is amazing. But when you're on it with fans who are there who just want a piece of you,
yeah,
I think it just adds another layer that is hard to escape.
Like if you've got the buffet of, you got a little piece of Chris Chambliss, little Mickey Rivers over here, and you know what?
It's like a people buffet.
I need. You know what? I got a little room on my plate. Let me get some Michael K.
I got to tell you, Michael, and by the way, because some of those names, I mean, with all due respect, it's not like Mattingly's on the cruise.
No,
Michael may be the most desirable name.
Depending on your age, he might be the biggest name on the boat.
That's tough.
Yeah, no, I know. I was on see who I was on with. I was on with Stan Royer.
Okay.
Who's now my insurance guy. He played for the Cardinals.
All right.
I was on, I think, with Tim Jones, a left-handed hitting middle infielder.
A true who's who.
Jocketty.
Mm-hmm.
And I was 24, 25. I mean, nobody wanted to talk to me. With Fred Bird was on there. It was fun.
Were you at least single at this time in your life, or no?
No, I was there with my wife, and we could bring one couple friends of ours, and it's funny you bring this up because my daughter was going through old pictures and sent me a screenshot of a picture of me on the Cardinal cruise with my first wife, her mom. Like, when the hell did you guys go on this thing? And somehow we had missed in the many bedtime stories telling Natalie and Trudy about our time on the Cardinal cruise.
Tales of the Cardinal Cruise. You should write a book called Tales of the Cardinal Cruise.
Yeah, it would be short. Go ahead. Yes, go.
Joe, did you hear us just playing the Dan Orlovsky cut about the offsides last night? And what was your original takeaway from the end of the Chiefs-Bills game?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know the ins and outs of how warnings happen or an official saying, hey, 19, back it up. I don't know that end of it. But many times when I'm watching a game on TV or calling a game from the booth, you see a guy that's lined up offsides. The problem is they don't always call it. So you can't act like, well, they call this every time. Because I've seen many defensive players over the course of my 30 years doing these games that are clearly lined up in the neutral zone, and they don't really call it. And then to call it there, I mean, you can't – the game situation should not dictate whether they call it or not. And when I watched it and then heard the reaction from Patrick and Andy, I thought the anger really should be taken out on Kadarius Toney more than it is the officials, because – that's got to be maybe the easiest part of the game is to know where the ball is and where you should stand.
Yeah.
I think they do that pretty much every day at practice and have done it their entire lives. So I don't get that one.
Yeah, the thing that I don't get, it was just so irritating to me, is that, and listen, Patrick Mahomes is one of the greatest quarterbacks I've ever seen, but don't act like you don't benefit from every rule in the book going against the defense and opening up offense, and the one time the right call is made, you're screaming like you never get a call. I mean, give me a break. To react the way and Andy Reid did was wrong.
They benefit time and time again, and they're not the only team that has a right tackle that's basically lined up in the backfield. So, it's that they do benefit from stuff at the line of scrimmage, and it's just a moving line. I think that's the frustrating part. If I'm a fan, and I'm not a fan or somebody that doesn't like the Chiefs, I have no dog in the hunt here. So my point is, when the line moves, and sometimes it's called and sometimes it's not, then it becomes a little bit tougher to digest. But if I were Patrick Mahomes, I'd be a lot more upset about the no pass interference call at the end of the Packer game the week before than I would be when a teammate lined up clearly offside.
Is there more juice in this game between the Giants and Packers because DeVito's in it?
Well, I don't know if you just saw how he walked into the stadium here tonight, but
do tell.
I mean, just from the sweater choice alone is bringing juice to Monday Night Football.
What was it?
I can't describe it. You have to go online and see it for yourself. It's probably something that Michael is wearing on his Yankees cruise in the evenings when the wind is up and he's smoking a cigar hanging over the railing.
Oh, interesting. It's like
he's looking at it.
It's like a pink fur coat, sort of a short waist length pink tie-dye fur. I don't know what else to say.
I don't know. I don't have the words for that or the mental capacity to put words to it. But I do know that, to answer your question, I think it's cool. I think it's a great story. As a parent, I mentioned Natalie and Trudy. They are in their 20s and living in this great city of New York. And not a day goes by that I don't wish that they were living at home with me. And so for a family that's as close as they are to basically get a high school type experience from, a quarterback and a boy and their family playing in the NFL and getting a lot of the same feels I think is great, and I think it says a lot about their family. So an easy guy to root for, and I think it does bring another level of fun to a Monday night game with a Giants team that's won 2 in a row and a Packers team that, you know, if it ended right now, which we're a long way from the end, but they'd be in the playoffs. And 3-4 weeks ago, they looked like they were wondering what top 5 draft pick they were going to get.
We talked about this previously on one of your calls, Joe, that how many Rodgers games you called with Troy in Green Bay. From what you've seen of Love so far, it hit me last week. I just saw something in that dude's game, man. I think he is the real deal. I think they will have hit it yet again for the 3rd time in a row. What do you take so far from Jordan Love?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the question that every team comes into every season. You know, when you don't have a Burrow or you know, Brady when he was, you know, the GOAT with New England, and you don't know who your quarterback of the future is. That's a question I think still for the New York Giants, even after the extension for Daniel Jones. I think he's got a lot to prove again next year, whenever it is he comes back from the torn ACL. You know, and we'll see. We'll see where that stands. But I think you're right. I think the Packers believe they have the guy. I think he's got obviously more to grow, but he certainly improved within the course of the year, and he sat there for 3 years, and so the beginning part of the season was knocking some of that rust off, and now it looks like he's at least more confident. He's more in control. I think the game has slowed down for him, and you're seeing his ability. So I think I think they may have hit yet again, which is an incredible run of basically 3 guys playing for a decade and a half apiece. If they're so lucky with Love.
Now, back to the DeVito thing. I was a little surprised they were starting him because I thought Tyrod Taylor gave them a better chance to win in a game in which they're still mathematically alive. You talked to Dable. Did you get a sense that they believe DeVito's just better, or do you think that they want to just see more from the kid and just know mathematics be damned, we're not going anywhere, let's look at the future and have DeVito play?
I think it's that. I mean, I think we know at this point in Tyrod Taylor's career. He's had a really, really solid NFL career, but, you know, he was signed to be the backup here. And they know what they have in Tyrod Taylor, and they're sitting here at 4-8. And they are, I think, on one hand, obviously trying to win games. On the other, trying to make decisions about the future. And, you know, it's probably not to be an NFL starting quarterback. But we saw it last week with Jake Browning of Cincinnati, who backed it up with another great game yesterday. It doesn't mean that these guys are going to be, you know, stars or every week starters in the NFL, but being the number 2 on a roster is a big deal with getting off the yo-yo ride of practice squads and, you know, getting some sort of tenure in the league and making some real money and being a legitimate backup, where we've seen countless examples this year of starters going down. You know, you're only as good in a lot of these cases as your backup, and maybe they can see if he can be the guy number 2 going forward with Daniel or whoever the number 1 is.
Of course, Joe Buck and Troy Aikman calling the game tonight, Giants-Packers for ESPN. I'd be remiss if we didn't ask you before you go, Joe, just your thoughts on the Soto signing for the Yankees and the Ohtani $700 million deal.
Well, I mean, I think Soto's just a bona fide monster, and I think it's a great deal for the New York Yankees, and you know, he makes their lineup infinitely more difficult to pitch to. It was a great move, and even if it's just for a year, although they could find a way, I'm sure, if they like it and he likes it, to extend that beyond this year. So I think it's a great move. Get him in house, get him loving New York and all that this city has to offer. So I love the move. And then, you know, Ohtani is one of one. I've never been more in awe of a guy that I met late in life. Like, I met this guy at the All-Star game a couple of years ago in Colorado, and he had that crazy first half, and he was pitching and hitting, and then he was in the home run derby and, you know, had every reason to tap out of that. Didn't do it. Was delightful to talk to. He's a great, great guy. I think he'll make that money and then some for the Dodgers. I think they're both tremendous moves, and for 2 big markets to add those guys is only good for baseball.
Joe, we hope you have a wonderful holiday and no one forces you into some sort of cruise you don't want to be on. We appreciate your time, man.
I'm trying to think of what awful announcing is going to pull out of this interview to put on their website. I don't know if it's going to be like Joe Buck rips team-sponsored cruises or whatever it'll be hard-hitting.
Joe Buck hates being cornered by fans at the buffet, I think would be the headline for this one.
Yes, as a 25-year-old. When I was begging people to talk to me.
Hey, Joe, thanks for your time, man. Happy holidays.
Man.
All right, see you guys.
There he is. That is Joe Buck. I just enjoy the rawness of Joe Buck.
Yeah. No, listen, he's a great announcer, but he also has some great perspectives.
I tell you, he doesn't need any more work. I mean, the guy got out of baseball for a reason. He wants to just do football and keep it moving. But with the sort of dryness of Joe Buck, would he not make a tremendous podcast too?
No, he would be great.
Like, he just keeps it so you can just hear the years built up of like fans giving him a hard time from every which market. He just has no time. He doesn't suffer fools, and I truly enjoy that.
I love it, too.
All right, I have WWE tickets to give away shortly. Plus, we have an Anthony Pusick-led ENN at 6 o'clock.
Yay! Can't wait for it.
And your phone call's next, right here on the K Show on Yes 98.7 ESPN.
For far too long, millions of Americans have been strapping on uncomfortable work boots pushed by out-of-touch corporate types. Hey! To design boots and apparel that hardworking men and women actually want, you have to get on the job site and listen.
And that's why Brunt names gear after guys like us.
Apart from making our boots and apparel innovative, reliable, and insanely comfortable, we back all of our gear with a 30-day on-the-job risk-free trial. You deserve better. You deserve Brunt.
Try any of Brunt's gear on the job for 30 days risk-free.
Get tools that bring every angle of your beauty business together. Clients can book online 24/7 for multiple services and multiple staff, so scheduling is simple. And with client notes and stored payments, you can offer seamless checkouts, so clients keep coming back. Run your beauty business with tools that bring everything together. Get started at square.com today.
I'm Jessie Dover, co-founder of Dagny Dover. New York isn't for the faint of heart. The gear you carry around not only has to look good, but it has to work even better. That's why we create bags like the Landon Carryall, a bag that allows organizational junkies like me to be ready for whatever life brings. A bag that allows me to feel good about the things I carry. After all, this city is a reflection of who I am, purposeful, resilient, and ready to face whatever comes my way.
I saw some of my favorite reporters were at The Athletic, and I thought, wow, I need to check this out. The content was just totally amazing, and so I kept renewing, and now I'm a huge fan of The Athletic and can't imagine my sports life without it. What I enjoy the most about The Athletic is the emotion behind a lot of the stories. If you like sports at any level, they have something for you.
We just shipped our millionth monthly coffee subscription box. We're sending custom thank you gifts to everyone on our team who helped us get there. I had to call Eric at Custom Ink. Custom Ink has been with us from the beginning, and he makes sure that we get everything we need and even reminds us of our own company milestones. This milestone, though, I get to tell him about. He is every bit as excited as we are and knows great quality products we can customize and send for the gifts. Celebrate all your milestones with custom gear. Get started today at customink.com.
All right, here we go. It's a big responsibility to be a designer. Dagny Dover is a bag brand based in New York City, founded by 3 women. We make hyper-functional, performance-driven bags. That's like a mouthful. We're all about getting the most out of life. When you're organized and you have your things together, you feel good. And when you feel good, you can live life intentionally. Oh, it's pronounced Dagny Dover. Dagny means new dawn. It's a new dawn for fashion.
Up your fan engagement with Yes Rewards on the Yes app. Watch live games and earn points. Play the hottest games and score more. Earn status, then redeem your points to win prizes. Yes Rewards on the Yes app.
Never goes up as long as you cover your car.
My family depends on my truck every day.
With a plan through CarShield, you can get protection over 5,000 major parts and systems. I'm talking big money items like your transmission, engine, electronics, and so much more. If any one of these breaks down, you could be stuck with thousands of repairs. So don't wait. If you want peace of mind driving the car you love without worrying about a breakdown, then call CarShield.
Working for the Department of Defense, I know a thing or two about being prepared, and that's why I called CarShield, and you should too.
If you love something, you protect it. That's why I called CarShield, to protect my car.
Plans through CarShield also include many extra benefits at no extra cost, like roadside assistance, free towing, help with flat or damaged tires, and lockout help. Don't pay for those things separately when you can get them included through a plan with CarShield.
CarShield is here to keep you on the road and turn car breakdowns and the repair costs that follow to just tiny bumps in the road. Call now.
Protect yourself from the unprecedented rise in cost for parts and repairs. Call now to save money with your price lock guarantee. Call 800-514-7556. 800-514-7556.
Download the Yes app and experience the game in a whole new way with live stats, pick and play, and Yes rewards. If you get Yes on TV, then you get the Yes app for free.
This December, we got the season of giving, lobs it up, and get it. Big fish! With star-studded matchups all month long. We got KD, we got Jokic, we got Steph, we got Giannis, we got Nets versus Kings. Tonight at 9:30 on Yes and the Yes app.
The Brooklyn way is something that you can't describe. You just gotta know it. You gotta feel it. You gotta be here.
We give everyone the swag, the lingo, the culture, the look. We're just the sauce.
We got everything. Everything you want, we got.
To see somebody going after something and doing like what they love, it's easy to show love. And that's one thing about Brooklyn, you know what I'm saying? It's a reflection of who we are.
Show 98.7 ESPN, and yes?
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead, Don. Like I said, guys.
Yeah.
Now is your chance to score tickets to the WWE Live Holiday Tour at MSG Tuesday, December 26th. Let's make it caller 15. Like, I think that's enough, right, Anthony? I think that does the job without punishing you. You know what I mean? Caller 15 to see so many. Seth Rollins, the new, very angry and scary Drew McIntyre, Shinsuke Nakamura, plus Cody Rhodes, Dirty Dom, Sami Zayn, Rhea Ripley, who is a specimen to behold. Caller 15, 888-987-ESPN, and you'll win 2 tickets to go to the Garden, okay? Full contest rules, go to ESPNNewYork.com. Tickets are available right now at Ticketmaster.com. One of my favorite things to do. I'm going. It's one of my favorite things to do. We get back from Brazil on the 25th.
Nice, right on Christmas Day.
Right on Christmas Day, and then the 26th, we will be right there at MSG. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Cool. I wonder if my brother's going.
Yeah, by the way, this year I'm going to be hosting the Best of Raw that's airing on Christmas this year.
Okay.
So you could actually take in Christmas this year, Don, with me just staring right at the family. 8 o'clock, right there on USA. Can you believe it? What a way to take in the holiday.
Do we have an NFL game that day? I believe we do, don't we?
Well, if we do, guess what? I'll crush it in the ratings. You can't go up against Rosenberg one-on-one.
You're going to pulverize it?
Yeah, you don't want to go up against me on
You're
Christmas.
You're going to destroy it?
Come on. You kidding me?
I'm going to take a look, because I know there's games Christmas Eve.
Tell me what the vehicle
so
is.
what
Christmas falls on the 25th this year.
It usually does.
That's a Monday. Sure
so
it is.
What do we got? That's the old weeks. Yeah, we got 3 games. We got a triple header on Christmas Day. You ready for it?
Yeah, sure.
1 o'clock. Raiders at the Chiefs. Mahomes is complaining already about
that's actually a pretty fun game, though.
Your New York Giants and Philly against the Eagles.
That's a 4 o'clock vehicle?
That's the 4:30 vehicle. And at 8:15, this is a good one.
No, it's not.
Niners home for the Ravens.
Ooh,
that's
a ditty.
That's not a bad.
But
on the Christmas,
no.
you know who's crying? The NBA will get some games, but
you're not going to watch that game. We're going to watch me on Raw, right?
What time?
8 o'clock. What time's the?
Right after Giants Eagles.
Yeah.
All right.
Take a little break. A little football break.
Wash my face, trying to wake me up after the Giants lose by 35. They never play the Eagles well.
No, it's weird, right?
Well, we could be in the middle of a Linsanity thing with Tommy DeVito.
What if?
Listen,
can you
Linsanity?
Dream? Can you dream?
Jeremy Lin was playing out of his mind, but it just shows you that there is power, even for the NFL in New York. That he wins a couple of games, and it's now become a thing.
Well, also, there's a theme here. There's a theme.
Well, the
here.
Jersey theme.
No. Well, yeah. There's an ethnic theme too. A group that people are one group latching onto a player, making it even bigger. This is such a New York thing. Literally, why was Bruno Sammartino? One of the reasons Bruno Sammartino was so popular in WWF. Why?
He was Italian.
Correct. Remember the Polish hammer Ivan Putski?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of Polish people here. Anytime
there's a lot of people here,
but anytime you have someone who's of a group that's not often represented in that game, I mean, there aren't Italian jersey quarterbacks every year.
So you're
this is exciting.
So you're telling me that if Dan Pastorini played for the Giants or Jets, look out.
That it could be if he let him put together a half decent couple of games,
because that's what it's been. I mean, I'm really happy for the kid, but basically
the biggest thing
it's the whole Eddie Murphy Ritz cracker thing. The Giant fans have been starving. They've been given a block of neutral flavored soup, and it's like, my God, is this chicken noodle?
Oh, I've never had a chicken.
This is
isn't there
a taste bud explosion?
You should have went with Italian wedding. Isn't that a soup?
I'm not a fan.
Interesting.
No, chicken. Listen, if you're going to really break it down, chicken noodle gives you everything you're looking for.
Well,
first of all, there's nothing like a good piece of chicken, right? Let's be honest.
No, of course not. But can I tell you a hot take?
You've probably eaten more chicken than anything else in your life.
In terms of protein, yeah, top of the list. But I'll tell you this: if you like chicken noodle, let me just take it a step further and just go ahead and do matzo ball. Because matzo ball is chicken noodle. They just add a delicious, flavorful, yummy, carby ball in the middle. And everything else is chicken noodle soup. Veggies, chicken, some noodles, and then you have a matzo ball in there.
This made me think of that the Doors song.
Matzo ball soup? Why is it so good?
No. He's like, I ate more chicken than any man ever seen. Oh, yeah. He may not have been speaking specifically about chicken, but I do remember those lyrics.
What he was talking about. Yeah. It reminds me of Sugar Hill Gang on Rapper's Delight. And the chicken tastes like wood. No one ever likes that.
Nobody.
Because it can't happen.
See, I got to tell you, I don't know how management feels. I certainly don't know what Michael Kay thinks, but there's certain things that happen when Peter and I are alone together that just don't happen any other.
Isn't it special moments?
Who would have thought we'd break down chicken like that?
Let's go to Jesse in Leonardo. Hey, Jesse.
Oh, Leonardo. That's where, of course, we always talk about it whenever you call. It's Clerks. What's
How
up,
you doing,
baby?
Jesse?
Take a moment and look at Geno Smith and Zach Wilson at the same point in their career. I mean, Geno Smith was pretty awful, and look where he's at now. I find it difficult to watch Zach Wilson play the game, but he could zip a ball to the point where the cameraman can't even keep up with where the ball is on the field.
No, there's ability there. It just, if it's in his head, though, is that going to be something that follows him forever? Or is it coaching? Clearly with Geno, because remember, Geno just wasn't with the Jets. He was with the Giants. He bounced around a little before he landed with a coach in Pete Carroll that was able to groom him into what he became. So is it just a case of finding the right coach and the right system to bring the best out of Zach, Jesse? Is that all it's going to take?
Right.
I don't know. I think Geno Smith's interesting because he's a nice quarterback. He's certainly better than he was with the Jets or Giants, but he's not superhuman either. But he landed in the right place. I don't know if they're going to make any major changes to the coaching staff, Peter, but if he blossoms someplace else, it'll probably be because he found the right coach to bring the best out of him.
Or he just hits a moment where it's really interesting. Coach Salo will not come out and specifically say what the deal is with Zach. I tried to really get in there today and get him to explain it. It sounds like the confidence problem is not that he has no confidence, but that he can be overconfident and do stupid things. Am I wrong, or is that how you take it?
That's why I take it, but also, and I don't want to insult Coach, but is that being explained to him? Because he's a defensive guy, that his job isn't to break down what's right or wrong with a quarterback. So when Robert's explaining it to us, is he fresh off of like a Nathaniel Hackett trying to explain it to him? Like, what's going on with this quarterback? You know, can a defensive coordinator, a defensive-minded guy, be able to break down what's wrong with Zach Wilson? I don't know. You might need, like what Michael talks about, like doctors in Vienna to try to figure out like what's going on in Zach's mind. Clearly, it's a mental problem. So is it even about offense, or does he need to like sit down and talk it out with somebody?
It's a great point. Hey, Don, our partners over at MSG Networks, they're hosting a sweepstakes tonight throughout their coverage of Knicks Raptors, beginning at 7. A $100 donation to their Garden of Dreams Foundation gets you a ticket to win signed player items, tickets, and other experiences. You can go to msgnetworks.com for more info, or just tune into the game tonight to help out New York area children facing major obstacles. Certainly a nice way to give back during the holiday season. Awesome stuff they do at the Garden of Dreams. So if you want to look for a holiday donation, why not give $100 to Garden of Dreams and have the chance to win something very, very cool? And while I'm mentioning that, I want to mention the Yankees Hot Stove live featuring the K-Show today. Bob, Jack, and Flash discussing Ohtani and the latest on Yamamoto to the Yankees. Will it happen? Will it not? We don't know.
Is Kay's going to be on from the cruise?
No, Kay.
No, I demand it. I want him on from the cruise.
That would really be something.
By the way, I'm told that we have updates. We are going to be. We're going to get some information on what on the cruise Kay is on. We have some scheduling updates coming from Anthony during.
Oh, this is going to be a great ENN.
By the way, you're so some guy on Twitter at Buck. Your remarks on TMKS were typical of a hotshot millionaire who can't lower himself to mix with good common people. Your arrogance is contemptible. You should be ashamed of yourself. You're definitely not a chip off the old block. Dude, it was being funny, and he was 25, and it's still a lot.
And ignored, he said.
Yeah, and by the way, he said he was being ignored. Now, we're busting Michael's chops. If you worked in a kitchen, you're a chef, and you had a week to go on a cruise, but on that cruise, every single moment you spent was people going, how do you cook the chicken? Tell me about the chicken. I got to know more about the chicken. You can't say why, or you can't laugh at that being a lot. That's all. Sometimes everyone is looking for a reason to just take people down a peg instead of just being human and laughing at a situation. It kind of makes sense.
Or a dentist going on a cruise, having to look in everybody's mouth while he's on the cruise. Can you check that? My molder's been bothering me. Can you take a quick look at it, please, for free?
Speaking of which, we'll talk to Richard when we get back.
Love it.
And see how he feels about it as well. More K-Show next. But Don, first, tell me your name. And talk tomorrow.
I'm Jessie Dover, co-founder of Dagny Dover. New York isn't for the faint of heart. The gear you carry around not only has to look good, but it has to work even better. That's why we create bags like the Landon Carryall, a bag that allows organizational junkies like me to be ready for whatever life brings. A bag that allows me to feel good about the things I carry. After all, this city is a reflection of who I am, purposeful, resilient, and ready to face whatever comes my way.
We just shipped our millionth monthly coffee subscription box. We're sending custom thank you gifts to everyone on our team who helped us get there. I had to call Eric at Custom Ink. Custom Ink has been with us from the beginning, and he makes sure that we get everything we need and even reminds us of our own company milestones. This milestone, though, I get to tell him about. He is every bit as excited as we are and knows great quality products we can customize and send for the gifts. Celebrate all your milestones with custom gear. Get started today at customink.com.
The league is in absolute chaos.
Players going off pretty much every other
Playing picture that, when it clears, could leave a few future Hall of Famers.
It might all come down to some rookie taking free throws. Scorer is on pace to break the
The Athletic. Subscribe today.
You've heard our story before. In some ways, it's yours. It's the one about rolled up sleeves, measuring twice, cutting once, and building something you're proud to put your name behind. What are we building? A different kind of workwear, inspired by the values of those who put in the work. They're the reason we make boots that feel as good at 6 p.m. as they did at 6 a.m. They're the best you've ever worked in, or we'll take them back. Brunt, the tools you wear. Try us on the job for 30 days risk-free.
Win big while streaming the Nets with Pick and Play on the Yes app. Make your picks before tip-off and win up to $10,000. What a move! Yes, Pick and Play. It's the game within the game, only on the Yes app.
.com today.
Ma, are you sure you don't want to go bowling with us tonight? Yeah, no.
There's my little marzipan. Oh, my daughter gives the best hugs.
We're just passing through on our way to the Jazz Jamboree. And we wanted to thank America's #1 motorcycle insurer for saving us money. Mara, your parents are
exactly like me. I know, right?
Well, cherish your friends and loved ones.
Let's roll, Daddy-O.
Let's boogie woogie.
It's all about putting in the work. I prepare the same way for the long haul. Tono gives you all those stats to be able to say, okay, let's do this now. It's all about just training your mind to be as great as you can. Tono, be your strongest.
Whatever the holidays mean to you, get the most out of it in a new Honda. Whether it's taking the gang to the slopes in an available all-wheel drive Pilot, delivering presents in a rugged Passport, or hauling a few toys for yourself in a powerful Ridgeline. Your holiday adventure awaits with a new Honda during Happy Honda Days. Buy online, reserve from select dealers, or visit your local Honda dealer today.
This match was made in baseball heaven.
It's the perfect acquisition for this team.
You're getting Juan Soto, whose career is on a Hall of Fame trajectory.
The Yankees have made their offense must-watch TV.
What's up, everybody? Chef Marcus Sampson here on Home Plate New York on the Yes app. Come on, man, bring it in. Don't be shy.
From pinstripes to chef whites, Yankee stars take to the kitchen and explore some of their favorite New York cuisine.
This is staple. This is where we grew up. This is actually a gourmet version.
Yeah. Plus celebrities, athletes, and icons join Marcus at some of the hottest tables in town.
That's amazing. I'm proud.
Manja.
Check out Home Plate New York, streaming now on the Yes app.
perfect night for football here in the Big Apple.
It's a great venue, one of the iconic venues in the world for sports.
It's absolutely electric down the field. I've never seen a bowl game like this.
Things getting wild here at Yankee Stadium.
Wow, so no applause for me? What? Say what? What? Huh? I'll clap. Thank you.
There it is. You feel better?
No. Had to be prompted. But I'll take it. Couldn't do it without Peter.
Tool time.
We were both hoping for Danny. But
Danny did bring it by talking about how annoying everybody in the Chiefs' suite is.
And I was going to go with Danny, but I felt like with your Mahomes rant, you made that point already.
You know what? Jacob's thinking.
I think Jacob's a Swiftie. I think that's what's getting buried.
Or, by the way, it could be that too. We don't know. None of us know. I wanted to say something that I never got to mention last week. I don't know how. I was surprised we never got to it. But I was really, really saddened last week to hear that Ralph Cirella of the Stern Show passed away.
I did see that.
If you're a Stern person, then you know the important role that Ralph played on the show. And I always enjoyed Ralph. He's one of the characters on the show who Howard truly. He wasn't a whack packer. He's Howard's friend and makeup artist and fashion guy. And Howard had a friendship on him that I could tell, a friendship with him, I should say, that I could tell went beyond the show. They were actually real friends and equals, which is pretty amazing considering he met Ralph when Ralph was a teenager in high school.
So it was genuine. It was really...
It wasn't for radio. That was his dude, you know, and I always sensed that. And I got to tell you, I was just floored and shocked to hear that he was gone. So rest in peace to Ralph Cirella. He brought a lot to the show. Seemed like a lovely dude. And big shout out to Howard and the whole family over there at Howard 100, because I know that's a big loss for a guy who'd been a part of that show just for forever. Let's take a few more calls.
Shall we?
Yeah, before we get to ENN. Here is Richard in Manhattan. Hey, Dick.
Hi, Peter, Don. Peter, I'm surprised at you.
Here we go. Go ahead.
The most important, famous football player, Italian-American. As a matter of fact, he had a whole army following him in the end zone.
Yes.
In Pittsburgh.
Yeah, of course. A Vietnam veteran.
Army.
Right.
Franco Harris's Italian army. He was big in Tommy DeVito.
Right, Rocky Blyer he's talking about.
No Rocky Blyer. All right, fellas. Don, and your father would agree with me 100%. Do you know who Zach Wilson played like yesterday?
Fran?
That's 100% right. He looked like the best quarterback that ever played in New York, above Joe Namath, above Phil Simms, and above Eli Manning and Charlie Connolly and Y.A. Tittle. Fran Tarkington, that's how we watched Fran Tarkington with the Giants all these times. Don, let me ask you a question.
Sure.
Has there ever been an NHL champion, Stanley Cup champion, that had two number one goalies? In other words, both goalies played 41 games. And why not the Rangers this year? I can see Quick as a number one. They both should be number one goaltenders.
Well,
and one last thing. Don, before you answer this one, you got to talk about that San Jose-Detroit Red Wing game last week, where I think San Jose scored 2 or 3 goals shorthanded on the same power play. That's almost impossible.
Very rare.
That's insane. Now, that I did not hear about.
Very rare.
Thank you, Richard.
There has to have been...
Franco Harris, Fran Tarkenton, the San Jose Sharks.
There has to be a time where they've split. But I can't think of one off the top of my head. I'm sorry. I'll try to get you an answer tomorrow. But no, Jonathan Quick is an excellent backup. He's 8-0-1, beat his old team last night, played phenomenal. Igor's the number one goaltender. So, stop.
By the way, Richard, with all due, I didn't. That's one of those things. The Franco Harris Italian Army thing. That's one of those things where you got to give me some grace because of my age. That's not knowing about stats.
But you didn't put a lot of thought into it. You're just throwing it out. So you got to come up with somebody. Now, he did die recently, but, played 50 years ago. Come on, Richard, give him a break. Give him a break.
I'll be honest, I didn't know about Franco Harris's Italian heritage. I just read it now, that his mom was Italian-born. His dad was a black U.S. soldier. His mom was an Italian. I just thought of Franco Harris as a black guy. I didn't know. Didn't know he was Italian, too. I'm sorry, Richard.
No, it's a bad job out of you. Why don't you come prepared for once, huh?
I didn't know we were going to do biographical. He went back-to-back Franco Harris and Fran Tarkenton.
I mean, I just grabbed Dan Pastorini because I was just thinking of people's names that
right.
You know,
or you can
was
tell.
that or Gino Toretta. I was just trying to come up with somebody that had a vowel at the end of their name.
We have such an ENN coming.
You don't know that, but
No,
I
no.
know it.
No,
I know
it is a doozy of an ENN. All right. But real quick before that, I'm sorry, Griffin's been on hold forever. Griffin, I didn't mean to do it to you today.
No,
I'm not Michael.
you know what? We're not
It's just the Ohtani. We never really got deep into the Ohtani. So how are you, Griffin?
I'm good. I know you guys. There's a lot going on. There's everything that we're talking about. It was a busy weekend, so it's hard to get everything in these
Really
30-something hours.
Yeah, we didn't. I mean, come on. There's so much we left on the table here.
I know.
Well, that's why there's always tomorrow. What do you got?
I was just blown away by it. Like, I was shocked by how much money he got. Like, I understand.
The Ohtani deal you're talking about, $700 million over 10. Okay.
Yeah.
That's mind-blowing. It's a mind-blowing number.
Now, also, but I guess he's going to, I don't know if you saw this, Griff, he's going to defer $68 million a year, so it's only $2 million a year for the luxury tax. I don't think that's fair. That doesn't, and it's not a salary cap, but is that right to be? Now, I guess he can do what he wants, but does that seem right to you that they could defer the money so they will not get the penalty of signing that high of a contract? So at the end, they'll give him, write him a check for $680 million. But technically, as far as the salary is concerned, it's just a $2 million hit. So they don't get affected by the threshold.
It seems like you're playing. It doesn't seem legit, right? It seems
and not every team can do that. But Anthony will have more on that coming up in ENN.
So much more right here. Stick around. A big ENN in moments on 98.7 ESPN and Yes.
I saw some of my favorite reporters were at The Athletic, and I thought, wow, I need to check this out. The content was just totally amazing. And so I kept renewing, and, now I'm a huge fan of The Athletic and can't imagine my sports life without it. What I enjoy the most about The Athletic is the emotion behind a lot of the stories. If you like sports at any level, they have something for you.
With ButcherBox, you never have to worry about what's for dinner. We deliver grass-fed beef, organic, free-range chicken, humanely raised pork, wild-caught seafood, and so much more. Get high-quality meat sourced from trusted partners with free shipping always. Sign up today and get free chicken wings for a year. ButcherBox.
We just signed the lease on our third shop. I guess we're a chain now, right? We worked so hard to get here. My assistant went to CustomInk.com to get our new uniforms and merch with all the location names. Our custom gear helps him get our brand out into the community. He takes care of all of our Custom Ink orders. He was able to find great products, upload the new art, and have boxes sent directly to each of the shops. Custom Ink makes it so easy. Get started today at CustomInk.com.
Get tools that bring every angle of your beauty business together. Clients can book online 24/7 for multiple services and multiple staff, so scheduling is simple. And with client notes and stored payments, you can offer seamless checkouts, so clients keep coming back. Run your beauty business with tools that bring everything together. Get started at square.com today.
I'm Jessie Dover, co-founder of Dagny Dover. New York isn't for the faint of heart. The gear you carry around not only has to look good, but it has to work even better. That's why we create bags like the Landon Carryall, a bag that allows organizational junkies like me to be ready for whatever life brings. A bag that allows me to feel good about the things I carry. After all, this city is a reflection of who I am, purposeful, resilient, and ready to face whatever comes my way. All right, here we go. It's a big responsibility to be a designer. Dagny Dover is a bag brand based in New York City, founded by 3 women. We make hyper-functional, performance-driven bags. That's like a mouthful. We're all about getting the most out of life. When you're organized and you have your things together, you feel good. And when you feel good, you can live life intentionally. Oh, It's pronounced Dagny Dover. Dagny means new dawn. It's a new dawn for fashion.
Up your fan engagement with Yes Rewards on the Yes app. Watch live games and earn points. Play the hottest games and score more. Earn status, then redeem your points to win prizes. Yes Rewards on the Yes app.
When I hit 80, I needed help around the home. A friend of mine told me to call Freedom Care, and they'll pay my granddaughter to take care of me.
Funded by Medicaid, Freedom Care allows people to choose who provides their care, and the caregiver gets paid instantly after their shift.
Life is sweeter with her around.
Nana gave me so much joy as a child. Now it's my turn to return the love.
Call now to find out benefits and pay and how fast you can get started.
When choosing between style, comfort, and performance, we chose all of the above. How we get there matters. Get exceptional offers at your local Audi dealer.
Download the Yes app and experience the game in a whole new way with live stats, pick and play, and Yes Rewards. If you get Yes on TV, then you get the Yes app for free.
Show me what you're cooking. Oh, let me see the moves. You got the whole world looking like the scene, kind of magic taking hold of you.
If you get Yes on TV, then you get the Yes app for free. Download now.
Everybody, how hey, Ant. Michael's on a cruise, which we'll get into a little bit later.
Yes.
But I'm with you here for the rest of the week.
Why not?
I think it's fun.
I think we're
gonna have
tremendous.
Can I say good evening to you guys?
Please.
Okay. Hi, Peter and Don.
Michael decides to take a risk and just eat some food on the boat that he's never eaten before.
Gets dysentery and dies.
It's like Oregon Trail.
Yes.
You know, it's like, oh, your aunt has a stomach ache and now she's dead.
Yeah.
Don and Peter.
Maybe vindicated if you were a Zach guy.
A Zach guy.
Zach guy.
Yeah, Zach guy.
Not that guy.
No. And Peter and Don again.
Rothenberg doesn't get an uncle, does he?
No.
You're right. That was really dismissive.
It was harsh.
There's a lot going on there.
Well, I don't want to devalue uncle. I just make calling everybody uncle. And I know a lot of people that I'm closer to than Dave, and I'd like to be close to Dave.
Sure.
But if I'm going to call him Uncle Dave, then I've got to go Uncle Rick and Uncle Michael and Uncle Anthony, and where does it end?
There's a lot of uncles.
And then what? Then there's poor Dave, a legit uncle, my brother, and now he gets devalued. So we got to stop.
And look, in the case of Tommy DeVito and Italians, everybody's your uncle. So
I want the uncle to be legitimate. You know what I mean? Like Laura calls me Uncle Peter, Tio Peter with Kenza.
Yeah.
But that's I spend a lot of time with Kenza. I mean,
that's also a term like sometimes there's a term of endearment that goes with that, where it's not actual uncle, but
no, this is real though. I've spent a lot of time with Kenza, but you want it to mean something. You can't just loosely throw out uncle and it means nothing.
No. If I'm going to call you uncle, I shouldn't have to outline directions to my home.
Interesting.
Right?
You know what? It's a great point by you.
And that's not anybody's fault.
Although I haven't been to Laura's new home either, but.
Yeah, but again, the spending time, but there's levels here. There's levels to this.
Sure.
Usually, this is why Peter's one of the greatest broadcasters on planet Earth.
I agree, and I don't even know what you're going to say.
Usually, he lays out during, I'll call this a Don mini rant. I don't know, I didn't put it up on the board yet. I'll probably go back and find something for it, for the Mahomes rant. But there's some times where Peter just lays out because he knows it's gold, and then there's some times where Peter does this, and it also helps.
Football Mondays on 98.7.
Box!
Football Mondays on 98.7 ESPN.
Bullshit!
Football Mondays on 98.7 ESPN are brought to you by Sloman's.
It's like we re-racked something every time Don interrupted.
I'm sorry.
Those three full starts.
Shout out to Football Mondays on the Michael K. Show.
Yeah, sure.
And then Peter said,
"You don't like that? Shove it. Tool time. Road playoff game for the Chiefs."
Who is that, by the way?
That's Peter.
That was me.
I know it was Peter.
That's.
But do you have a name for that, I guess?
It actually kind of, no, but it actually, when you hear it, it actually sounds kind of Larry. It sounds a little LD. Road playoff game for the Chiefs. You know when Larry, like, mocks someone? It almost gives a little Larry. I miss Larry. He's supposedly coming on the show sometime soon.
Ooh, I'm excited for that.
See, if we ever get to the point, Peter, where he comes on without Michael, then I know we've made it.
That's right.
He has no way.
And I think he might.
No, I think you would too. Listen. I have to tell you, I bonded with Larry in a real way.
Yeah, that's right.
In a real
Call
way.
him Uncle Larry.
T.O. Larry.
T.O. Larry.
I was one notch from T.O. Larry, but we didn't exchange information or anything like that. But we had an actual connection But that's not how it is. Michael's the connect. 'Cause, oh yeah, I'd loosely. If Larry sent a text, I'd go, Larry, call us right now.
Because I'm starting to feel that with Billy Crystal.
Oh, sure.
Because he's been texting me during Giant games.
Well, you're having.
Oh, that's big.
By the way, do you appreciate me as a friend?
Wow. Yeah, more so than ever. But I always loved you. But that was really nice of
you. No, because it was a blatant thing where I go, Billy and Don should just be in contact, because why wouldn't they be? Billy doesn't prefer any one of us. He just enjoys the show.
Right.
He's not going to be like, why would I talk to Don? But see, Michael likes to keep things to himself.
Yes.
My relationship with Billy Crystal is not degraded because he's friends with Don. Michael, though, he wants to keep us in a box. In that dirty little box. I don't want Don in that box.
Not in the box.
It's a dirty box?
By the way, excuse me? By the way, Don is now friends with Q-Tip.
Oh, yeah.
He's friends with Billy Crystal. Oh. Don, my Rolodex, it's your Rolodex.
Well, I appreciate that.
Don and Q-Tip had an interview a couple Christmases ago. You weren't here. Yeah, you weren't here.
Thank you.
They bonded. It was beautiful.
Because that's what friendship is. You don't hoard friendships.
By the way, if Richard hasn't gone back to taking care of his patients, Rick Carpinello texted me, Don.
Oh.
1980s Isles, Chico Resch and Billy Smith.
And also the 80s Oilers.
Mm-hmm.
Andy Moog played a lot of games behind Grant Fuhr. So I knew I'd come up with it, but thank you, Rick. Because Rick's read the
friend
book,
of the show
franchise.
Now. Yeah. I love that book.
Curated history of the New York Rangers. Very good read.
I loved that book.
Rick is
and thank you, Richard, for a brilliant call.
So, as we know, we said Michael's not here today. He's on a cruise. You saw the beautiful picture. What a beautiful picture he sent out.
Handsome.
I mean, and it was on a day yesterday where it looked like apocalyptic in New York City with the rain and the wind.
Not for Michael.
Not for Michael. He was enjoying himself. Now, he's on the Legends of Baseball cruise, so I took it upon myself.
As you should.
Because he's going to be in a couple of different places. He's going to be in Belize tomorrow, according to this cruise.
I don't know much about Belize.
Well,
I couldn't find it on a map. Is that maybe a bad person?
I don't think it makes you a bad person.
Does that make me unworldly?
No. Well, you didn't have time zones till when?
9.
9?
When did you have them, tough guy?
That's a good point. I don't remember exactly. I know I couldn't stay up for certain Yankee games, but that was about it. So in Belize, apparently, as with every cruise, you can go on some excursions. So I wanted to take a look, guys. What excursions is Michael going on tomorrow when he's in Belize?
I love it.
What about cave tubing and zip line combo? Big nature lover,
No.
Michael?
He's out.
Exploring the rainforest by air, land, and water with this one-of-a-kind tubing, nature walk, and zip lining excursion?
No.
That's not happening for him? What about cave tubing in general? Just the cave tubing?
There's no tubing.
There's no tubing.
There's no zip lining.
He might go to the zoo. It's a little excursion to the zoo.
Because the kids would want it, right?
I think the kids would want to do that.
I don't think he'll have fun, but he'll go.
Shark Ray Alley. Hang out with some stingrays.
I'm gonna go.
Do you know what happened to Steve Irwin?
It's a great call by you. I'm going to go ahead and go with a no. A hard no.
This sounds like fun. Jungle Jeep Rum Factory and Museum Tour. Do you drive the Jeeps after the rum? Or does somebody drive you?
Here's what you have to think. All the people on the ship are going to go do this.
Absolutely.
And Michael, during that time, will stay on the boat with his family to have some alone time.
That's a great idea.
That's the whole thing.
I never even thought of that.
Well, yeah. That's everyone leaves, and Michael can then go enjoy the pool without everybody being around. And while he's trying to take a dip, they're going, "But what's going to happen with IKF next year?" I mean, I don't want to offend anyone, but I mean, I couldn't imagine being Michael when we do our events, and people come up and ask him about I mean, listen, I get it, and it's way easier. I probably got 3 or 4. What do you think about CM Punk's on Friday?
At your mother's house.
Excuse me?
At your mother's
house. Yes, I did. Yeah. And I get the what do you think about CM Punk thing, and it's an easy, quick answer, whatever. Michael gets so many detailed Yankee questions all the time. It just seems tough, that's all.
Can you picture Oswaldo Cabrera, Don? He's on this cruise. Oh, so you're gonna crack the roster this year?
No. What do you say if you're Oswaldo? It's a good question.
So you played a lot of outfield last year. There's another guy now that's might probably take some spots away from you. What do you think about that? Turtle snorkeling? That sounds like something that Michael would do.
He's out again.
The Howler Monkey Sanctuary. Now, Michael wants to get a headache.
A monkey sanctuary?
Howler monkeys.
I don't want to smell monkey dung.
You've heard this story when we were in Barbados. We were in Barbados.
Yeah, I've heard it.
I love this.
You've heard this story too?
No.
The Barbados story I've heard, yeah.
But for the people that didn't hear, we could stay on the resort, but the food options were limited. You know, Michael. So we went out to a restaurant, and it was a quaint, nice restaurant outside. And the birds were chirping, and everyone thought that it was quaint. and nice. It added to the flavor of the experience. And old Michael's like, these birds! The birds won't shut up the birds! So I don't think he's going to want to hear monkeys howling.
Can you believe they're sitting in paradise and all he can do is scream about how the bird chirps are too loud?
Yes. I can.
But you have to understand, people. Michael.
We love Michael. We miss him.
We love Michael. We love Michael.
This is
mangy Michael.
Mangy.
No, mangy Michael. He's so mangy. We don't know how to read the word. Is it mangy or mangy? He's mangy. At your mother's house on Friday, mangy Michael tasted the most delicious spinach dip.
Did he enjoy it? Because I never really got a feel for it.
He was fine with it.
Right.
He maybe even liked it.
Oh, my God.
And he didn't finish the tortilla chip. Guys, who bites a chip? The only thing I can remember that's similar is when de Blasio during COVID was trying to convince people to take the vaccine. So he did, they're giving out free burgers and fries. And he picked up a few French fries and he ate half the fries in one bite. And everyone made fun of it, like, who eats half a French fry? That's Michael. He didn't finish a tortilla chip.
Well, Don, you have young kids. When you try something for the first time, they go...
The little half bite. That's what Michael did.
Yeah.
He left the chip. He then put down the chip and left it sitting.
If I didn't know any better, I would think the food thing is a work.
Because it's insane. Who wouldn't
really
like a tortilla
makes no
chip?
sense.
It just gets him like delicious, like spinach artichoke dip from your mother's house, and
who knows?
And the food in the back was good. You guys said
everything.
Sliders and everything, delicious.
He's just
the crowd, by the way. I've done a couple of remotes with you guys.
Oh, did you isolate the Rosenberg chant? How did that sound?
Oh yeah, I thought it was good.
I
thought it was good.
I think we could use it.
I think it might be usable over the old one. All right, sorry. Go ahead, Anthony. What else do you have?
When did you have him, tough guy?
This one I like, and he's not going to do it, but I do like this. When they go to Grand Cayman, Turtles, Hell, and 7 Mile Beach. Just the title alone makes me want to. Hell? He's not going to hell.
No.
Regardless of what it is. It could be part of the beach. He's not going. It ain't going to happen.
You're big on the island.
There's a thickness to it.
I got to tell you, that was very, very good.
Yeah, it's strong.
Because it was such a big room.
Yeah.
I like
They did well.
But shout out to everybody coming out to your mother's house. Wish I could have been there too, but it looked like a lot of fun.
But you hate people. You're like Joe Buck and Michael Kay. You have no interest in
We need to do more on the island because we've been very Jersey-centric with our beach bashes. And sometimes it's just a matter of convenience, different things to get worked out. But whenever we've done anything on the island, the Super Bowl one last year over in... where was that
Massapequa Park, were we in, or no? Am I making that up?
And
we were somewhere.
And it just the crowds are unbelievable. Because we do well in the suburbs, and let's face it, Long Island is a big suburb.
Guys, I don't know if you heard this. Shohei Ohtani is a Dodger.
This bothers me a lot for a bunch of reasons.
So there's a couple of things here, and the deferred money is now what it's going to be. I was going to get into the whole possibility that CAA was behind Robert Herjavec flying to Toronto, and that spooked the Dodgers.
Conspiracy theories. I love it.
Listen. Peter, have you heard this? It's unbelievable.
No, the deferred money?
No. The Robert Herjavec being a CAA client, Shohei Ohtani being a CAA client, they all conspired to get Herjavec to fly to Toronto because they wanted to make it seem like, while also putting out that he was close with Toronto, to up the Dodgers' offer without knowing they were basically bidding against themselves. While the Blue Jays' offer was probably close, the Dodgers got spooked because of this.
Is that what people...
Is the rumor. And they think that the Herjavec thing is not an accident, that it had something to do with it, and that CAA was behind.
This is why baseball is whack.
Mm-hmm. So did you see the Passan tweet that just came out?
Yes, because they obviously want to do everything but have a salary cap because the players' union's too powerful. So what they do is they try to now punish the teams for signing big contracts by hitting them up with a luxury tax and taking draft picks away and all that. But this deferred money is going to give them a huge discount per year. And so you think, is Major League Baseball going to get involved? Are they going to put a stop to this circumvention of the luxury tax? No. The rule says there shall be no limitations on either the amount of deferred compensation or percentage of total compensation attributed to deferred compensation for which a uniform player's contract may provide. So basically means is you can defer as much money as you want.
You can defer $1 billion if you want.
So in essence, he's going to get paid $2 million a year for the next 10 years. And then until like Then he'll get the $680 million between 2034 and 2042, something ridiculous.
This is going to be that Bobby Bonilla
It's a
thing.
circumvention. So really, you're not putting anything in place. The Dodgers were able to spend all this money, and they will not be punished for it. So two
Not
questions.
to the level they should be, basically.
It's ridiculous. Sure. It's unfair because not every team can do this.
No.
This team.
Why can't other teams do it?
They just
won't have the money.
They're not going to be able to pay $680
At some
million deferred out over 10 years.
And so now so this will be something that
68
everybody will
million
be
a year.
trying to get over. And the other thing is, I can say, again, maybe Ohtani wasn't going to come here. Maybe Steve Cohen was told in no way, shape, or form will he come to New York.
Yep.
But you're telling me the Mets couldn't do this?
They probably could have, yeah.
So he
now
just
Cohen
didn't want to
said
come
that
here.
they didn't. His agent didn't reach out to him.
I don't think he wanted to come.
I don't think so either.
I think he wanted to stay on the West Coast, but
This reminds me of the Kovalchuk situation, Don, where what Lou did with that devil deal wasn't illegal.
Mm-hmm.
But then they said, when they looked in the CBA, it's like, maybe we should.
But
Maybe we should do something about this deferred
again,
money.
It's so typical baseball. They put in rules, and there are no
Well,
rules.
the small market team is going to have a field day with this one.
But the whole idea was because of the fact that you can have there's a penalty for paying a lot of money to try to make the smaller market teams get involved, and how a big market team gets around it.
Take what you will from Darren Ravel if it interests you or not.
Sure.
But he says this is luxury tax evasion and it will not be approved as is. The other owners won't allow it.
Well, I just read you the rule. Does it sound like they violated reading the rule?
They could defer as much money as they want.
Article 16, deferred compensation. I don't want to read it again because people will drive off the road and fall asleep.
Granted, this is I would say that this is a level that's unprecedented. I'm sure that this deferred money has happened
taking
before.
advantage?
But I don't know of any. I'd have to go back and look of anybody who's deferred. I don't know, 68, 70ths of their contract.
And the other
to
thing
10
is,
years from now.
but here's the biggest news. The biggest news. Forget all of that.
Sure.
They're obviously doing this for a reason.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's more to do.
Yeah.
So they're probably in on Yamamoto.
Can you imagine?
They're probably giving themselves some space to sign Soto when he becomes a free agent. They did this for a reason. So when you saw him sign 10 years, $700 million, they're like, all right, well, I guess they're going to be out on everybody else. No, this tells you they did it for a reason. They're going to try to gobble up everybody else.
That would be, listen, I mean.
I don't like it.
And
I
by the way,
wouldn't like it if the Mets did it. I just don't think that there should be a sport where just the rich just sign ridiculous money. That's not baseball. That's not being smart. That's just having more money than everybody else.
Ohtani's idea, by the way, Peter, is what they're saying. He came up with this deferred money idea. Saying, I'll take the $2 million salary because the endorsements I'm going to make.
I'm good. And he wants to win.
I'll be good. And he wants to win.
Because he didn't want to get hamstrung by his huge contract, stopping them from getting better. Because he saw what happened when he was in Anaheim.
You do appreciate it from the player.
Fine. I mean, I respect
try
it.
Yes.
He's still going to get his money.
Oh, of course.
But the point is that they circumvented whatever rule that was in place.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand salary cap is, they say it's un-American. You want to be able to have all the teams be on equal footing. Football can do it. Basketball can do it. Hockey can do it. Why can't baseball do it? Because their union is too strong. That's the only reason. But you telling me this helps the sport?
Certainly helps the players. They get their money, but I'm sure the small market teams, like I said, not going to be thrilled with the way this looks.
This is going to be interesting.
So we've talked about the Chiefs-Bills ending to the game a lot today. Did you hear what Rex Ryan said on Get Up?
By the way, Awful Announcing just tweeted out the Buck interview and said, "Don't worry, Joe Buck. We'll think of something."
I like that Awful Announcing's a friend of the show.
I do.
They're at least a friend when Joe Buck's on.
A friend of Joe Buck, a friend of the show. So Rex Ryan and Ryan Clark, as everybody did on ESPN today, on Get Up, talked about the Kadarius Toney situation last night. Here's what Rex had to say.
The fact that Rex said it's a toe,
It's a toe I don't like.
Wait, so what'd you say?
I just said this is a toe I don't like. Toes, I like, I like toes. I don't like this toe. Hey, come on, line up on frickin' side for crying out loud.
See, now, there is no way for us to do a serious show if we're going to go there, Rex. This is not the moment for it.
I apologize.
Hey, Kadarius Toney, if you turn Rex against feet, you a bad man.
Now, that's a good line.
Yeah, good for
That's
Rex.
a good line.
Good for Rex owning it. He's got a foot fetish. Now, I don't get it. I'm not a big foot guy.
Sure.
But I know people that are.
Yeah, I'm not either.
Do you? I know. I'm not going to mention names.
Please don't.
There is somebody I know.
Oh.
Big foot guy.
This is a toe I don't like.
It's an issue.
Really?
It's something that you have to overcome.
I feel bad. I feel like my wife has beautiful feet and hands.
Okay.
Sort of wasted on me. Not wasted. I appreciate it. They're lovely, but it's not my thing.
I guess I can appreciate a nice looking foot.
Sure.
It doesn't do anything.
Right. That's where I'm at. Like, I can see it. Oh, those are pretty feet. I can see those are pretty feet, but it's not like, it's kind of like, you know what I mean?
It's fine. It's like having,
but like it's a shame because I feel like with my wife, it's like pinky. It's like Dolly Parton being with a guy who's only about the rear. It's a waste.
Yeah, it's a good point.
I can understand.
He goes, it's Dolly. I got to be honest, never interested. Not my thing. You know what I mean?
I don't think anybody would ever say that, but I'm glad that Ryan, because of course we cut it off in the middle there. Ryan had to go back. He said it under his breath, and Ryan's like, wait.
No, Ryan. That's why he's so good.
He's a pro.
You can't let that go. And then good for Rex to own it. Look, but be proud of it, man. That's the thing for you.
I did just see a video. This is the first time I've seen this sent to me.
Okay.
A video of the beginning of the play from fans in the crowd, where when Kadarius walks over to the line, you see him point towards the ref.
I did see that. I
don't know if he gave the ref time to respond.
But then Andy Reid today said he didn't check with the ref. So did he just not like? Did he?
I mean, is pointing enough?
I don't know.
Are you really able to hear?
But there has to be. These guys know how you get the ref's attention.
Sure.
But what I didn't like about the Dan Orlovsky stuff from earlier, look at all the other times he was offside. Fine. But it's a big moment. You're a yard offside. Stop it.
Well, that's the thing also. In the same video where he supposedly checks with the ref, you also see how far ahead he is of every other player. And you're like, how did you think this?
I like the people that have taken Kadarius Toney and moved him to like the 20-yard line.
It's
like, look how far he is, and he's past the safeties.
It's amazing how viral anything football goes.
You guys want to hear Stephen A. talk about Zion being fat?
I do, because this was moving around a lot today, and I'm curious to hear the level of disrespect.
Stephen A. Smith Show.
Zion Williamson, he looks fat. He looks fat. While LeBron James had dropped 30 in 3 quarters and had completely dominated and looked in peak physical condition, Zion Williamson, who's more than 15 years younger, went to the free throw line. I saw a belly. When he took a deep breath, his belly bounced. That kind of belly. I mean, damn. But you look like you showed up to the game having just ate a buffet. Not something from the buffet, the buffet.
Oh, my.
Like you ate the damn table. Get in my belly. I know they got a weight clause in this contract. They got to.
If I'm Zion, my response would be, do you know what team I'm on?
Oh, because of the thing on high like
when he lost, he didn't know what team Ish Smith was on. Do you know what team I'm on?
That is the good way to play. You got to strike back.
I mean, that's you know what? You could talk about a guy's way. That's a personal attack. He went too far.
Well, guys, I'm a bad guy. 2 things. 1, Giancarlo Stanton was traded. On this day in 2017 from Miami Marlins, Starlin Castro, Jose Devers, and Jorge Guzman. This was ENN presented by Security Dodge. Come see Michelle Scalisi and come get some during their end-of-year sales event. And I believe, Peter, we have a Stadium Series promo that we absolutely should definitely tell everybody about.
And I got Knicks tonight. See ya.
All right, you know what? We'll get to it tomorrow. See you, everybody.
That's right.
That's a wrap on the show for today. For all of us here on the Michael Kay Show, this is Chris Sheeran saying have a great night. We'll see you next time.
With ButcherBox.